to the Hard Rocket Sports Studios and another edition of the Weekly Video Recap. And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another live edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live at top of High Top Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour, not 3 anymore, 2-hour weekly get-together. We bring you around the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And guys, welcome to, boy, I got to tell you, December the 5th in the year of our good Lord 2024. And yeah, we're 3 weeks. About 3 weeks from Christmas, and I gotta tell you, it gets here so fast. Once you turn the corner, once Halloween's here, you turn the corner, and we are at Thanksgiving, and now we are to almost halfway to Christmas from Thanksgiving. I wish we could just pump the brakes and take our time. And spend so much time rushing from place to place and thing to thing, especially right now. It's like get up in the morning, out the door, and it's not just me. A lot of people do it. And you're rushing, and you're driving, and you're working, and then you're driving, and you get home, and you're exhausted, and then it's Monday, it's Thursday, it's Friday, it's Sunday, and you do it, and it's next thing you know, it's Christmas. And I hope I get to the point in my life where I can pump the brakes and just sit back and enjoy this point in my life, the month of December. I almost want to take off the entire month, at least a couple of weeks before Christmas and a week after, and just kind of enjoy the holidays and visit people. I want to get back to simple times. Hopefully someday it'll happen for me. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I just one thing at a time. I got a couple of family things this weekend. Looking forward to it. Getting to spend some time with the family on Sunday. And have some fun there, and have some special dinner plans tomorrow and Saturday. So it'll be kind of a busy weekend, and I look forward to spending it with my children and my family. So looking forward to it. Like I said, got a lot of things going on, but there's a lot of stuff going on in music and sports, and I'm happy to be joined shortly by my co-host and my buddy Jeff. We got a lot to get to. I kind of missed the political stuff that I was doing for a while. It was a lot of fun, actually, and this was a fun season. Obviously, it's always fun when your guy wins, and of course, my guy or should be everybody's guy won. But it's a crazy time. Like who's running the country? Kamala's gone. Joe's falling asleep in Africa. It's scary times, folks. I got to tell you. It's almost like they just said, "All right, Trump, you run it and be done with it." It's frightening how much they just walked away from it. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on around the country, and there's a lot of optimism. We've seen Bitcoin jump from $60,000 a coin to over 100,000. There's a lot of people of all different shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, religions. A lot of people are excited about what's to come, and I think we should be. You're seeing world leaders traveling to Florida to meet with Trump. You're seeing business leaders like Bezos and Zuckerberg and all these different people who were always against him now kind of saying, hey, I think maybe we got something here. Even some of the unions. The Teamsters seem to be excited about some of the things that some of the picks he's made for his cabinet. So I'm optimistic and looking forward to a good 2025 and beyond. And the fact that we've gotten through these last 4 years with this knucklehead this meat puppet shows what we can do out there. So let's let's be optimistic, enjoy the holidays with our families, and just take a breath, folks. I'm the last person. I have to kind of listen to my own advice and just take a step back and enjoy. Yeah. So yeah, please do me a favor and just take a step back and appreciate who you have and what you have and all the good things. And if you're hurting and you need some help, reach out to a buddy or a family member if you need some help. But and I'm just going to drag my feet along. I'm kind of waiting for Jeff to pop up, but we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got Giants and Dable. Are we looking at a new regime? Like I'm torn. I want them. See, the problem is if you keep Dable and Shane and they pick their own quarterback, you're kind of stuck with them for a couple of years. Now, unless you're going to go get a veteran out there and then draft a guy. But either way, if you let Shane and Dable, and I say Shane and Dable because it's Dable's system, Shane's the GM. Not that they're tied at the hip. I think Shane's brought in some decent players. I think Dave's has done a decent job coaching. But if you wanted to fire one or the other, I think as long as they stay competitive, and they were competitive in the Dallas game, it wasn't it's not pretty with the quarterback situation. And now everybody's hurt. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is out, Nacho's out. You're just taking a beating. Andrew Thomas has been out a while. I mean, the backup tackles have been out. So to me, I think you got to bring them back. I think Mario's got to stick to his plan, and he has the right guys. He just has to give them a chance. You can't be this bad for 10 years and then expect them to turn it around in 2 or 3 years. I mean, we got spoiled because year one, they came in and they were successful. And then we just expected it to fly from there, and it didn't happen. And I get it. So they made some mistakes. And now let's hope that it just continues to get better. And some of the guys like Drew Phillips and Nubin, Neighbors, they've all played really well this year. So there's some hope. They're still young enough at some of the spots, and let's keep getting it right. So no, I would not change it if I were the Giants. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Daniel Jones winds up at the Vikings. Where will he wind up eventually? We'll talk a little bit about that. Tannenbaum's back to help the Jets pick their next coach. The guy who's pumping for that job is Rex Ryan. They would be out of their mind to bring Rex back. But let's be honest, is this really a job for somebody, is there a really great coach out there who wants this job? That's the question. Somebody will take it. Listen, there's only going to be 5 or 6 or 7, maybe 7 jobs out there. I go through the list in a minute. But at the end of the day, there's only 6 or 7 jobs. So and to be honest with you, the jobs that are coming out, I mean, it's okay. The Jets, the Bears job is open. Who else got fired? I'm trying to think. There's been a few guys fired. You're not going to get nobody's getting fired in San Francisco. Nobody's getting fired in Miami. Well, I doubt it, but nobody's getting fired. Dan Campbell's not getting fired. You're not getting a number 1 team. So, the job you get is a team that's probably top 5 in the draft. So it's just a matter of what organization. Now, the Bears have been inept for years. The Giants have been inept, but they're a world-class organization. They've won a bunch of Super Bowls. But, there's going to be a few jobs. And, are the Jets going to get the top candidate? I wouldn't think so. I mean, they've just been so snake bit, and they have such a problem on their roster with Rodgers. I think some of the talent that they thought with like Sauce Gardner have been completely overrated. And I think it's a fractured locker room. The defense, while last year was great, this year has not been terrible, but not been good. So there's a lot to be desired if you're if you're going to come on and coach the New York Jets. And this is a true reclamation project. If I'm the Jets, I'm praying that Rodgers either begs his way out or retires, because you don't want Aaron Rodgers to be a quarterback. Now, there is another thought, and I'll kind of hold my theory, but you could draft a quarterback and Aaron Rodgers start the year off playing, and then you get this kid in the lineup. Now, that won't make Rodgers happy, but it's happened in the past. Happened with Eli. They had Kurt Warner, a future Hall of Famer, although I don't think Kurt Warner's a Hall of Famer. But, you could theoretically draft a quarterback, let him sit for 7, 8, 9 weeks, and then sit Rodgers and then play your guy. So there's some ways to attack it. Dick Jeff's trying to get on right now. Let's see. Blackest Sabbath. Let's see if he gets on. But again, guys, it's December the 5th here in the year of our good Lord 2024. And we are the Hard Rocket Sports Show, and we're back. Hopefully we'll be on a good run for a few weeks. It's been off and on with my vacations and holidays and all that. So here's Jeff. Let's get him on and get the show cranking up. And there's only one way to start a Hard Rocket Sports Show, and that's by bringing on my partner in crime and best buddy for 40 years, Mr. Jeff Tolwinski. Hey, what's up, man? Uh-oh. You there?
Well, it's fucked up again tonight, Tom.
I'm buying you a computer for Christmas. That's it. I've decided my gift to you is going to be a brand new computer. That's it. Got to get you healthy. Let's see. You there? I see your face. You're frozen. He looks better that way. Looks like a fish is about ready.
And not only that, I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Now I got you.
Man, wow.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking. See what you got. Frozen again. Stay with it. Last time it happened the same way, and it got better and better as the night went on. Are you hearing me? I see you moving. Are you hearing me? Oh, it's not. That's dirt. You there, Jeff? Frozen. Oh, he's gone. The Blackest Sabbath is gone. All right, let me get my dad on. Let's see what he's got to say. Maybe Jeff will pop up again, and we'll try it all over again with Jeff. But let's see what my pop's got to say. What's up, Pop?
Hi up, Tom. How you doing?
I'm all right, Dad. I'm all right. Just sitting here on
I'm looking at all reports. They're talking about Soto, $750 million.
To where?
Well, the point of what they're saying is he really wants to go back with the Yankees. They're giving the Yankees the last bid.
Okay. Here's the question. I mean, he's a great player. If you're going to pay anybody that kind of money, I guess he's the right guy. He's 26 years old. Even if you get 10 good years out of him, it's well worth it. Probably better than most contracts. Question's going to be for the Yankees. I just think if you're Steve Cohen, you're telling Boris, I got you by $50 million. Now, is there a spot where Cohen says, I'm out? Like if somebody says 750, is he going to 800 million? Like, is anybody going to those kind of numbers? Does Cohen or the Yankees or anybody have a cap? I can't imagine it's a blank check. So at some point, now, I don't know if he prefers anybody or not. You hear that he doesn't want to go to the West Coast. You hear, but I hear he's got a big liking for Big Papi and the Red Sox. I can't see him going to Canada. I don't care how, unless the Blue Jays are offering a ton of money. I can't imagine he's going to want to spend 15 years in Canada playing for Toronto. So,
I don't know. I give, if it was me, I give him money and a 10-year contract with a 5-year option. After 5 years, he can beg out. Because after that, I don't see him going. All these guys that get the big money.
Yeah.
You don't see the.
I got it. I agree. There's somebody's going to give him 15 years. Now the question is going to be: is it 600? Is it 650? Is it 7? Is it 750? He's going to get the 15 years because he's young enough, and somebody's going to want to lock him up. And I just don't see it happen any less than that. He's not going to take a 10. To me, he could take a 5-year deal and still be 30 and get another big deal. The problem is, what if you get hurt? What if something bad goes wrong?
Well, let me ask you a question now.
Oh.
If you're the Mets
Yep.
Aren't you upset that you're not getting the last pick? That you're giving the Yankees. So theoretically, the Yankees could just
I
sit
don't.
back
I
and
mean, I haven't
not
seen
offer.
that yet. Maybe it's true that he's giving the Yankees the last shot. I have no idea. I have not seen that. That could be speculation. I really. Where did you see that, Pop? On the news or in the paper?
Yeah, it was on Michael K show, but it didn't come from him.
Mhm.
It came from another supposedly person I know.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know if he's giving the Yankees the last look. That's terrific. I know he liked playing here. He liked playing in San Diego. I'm sure he liked playing in Washington at some point. I think it's going to come down to money. If the Yankees are $600 million and the Mets are $700 million, he's going to the Mets. He's going to the Red Sox for that matter. I think at this point it's highest bidder. Now, if it's $705 million for the Mets and $700 million for the Yankees, yeah, he may take the Yankees if he liked it better playing with Judge and that team, and he had a great time in New York. I have no idea, but if it's $50 million. I don't know. To me, like I said, I don't know if Cohen has a cap. If he just says, "Hey, I'm beating the best offer you got by $50 million," if he really wants him, he's going to get him.
yeah,
Now,
I don't believe that it's. See, everybody's getting it that he's got all his money, $14-15 million, but he didn't get that money by being stupid.
No, not at all.
He knows what he's doing.
Right, but look at the return. See, I was a big proponent. I was against the whole Shohei Ohtani, $700 million. But they're making now. First off, they deferred it, which is big business, smart business. They pay him next to nothing now, and he gets his money down the road and a lot of it. But they're also turned that into a ton of money on the public relations side. Juan Soto playing for your team, especially in the big market, whether it's Boston, whether it's the Mets, whether it's the Yankees, you're going to make a ton of money. You're going to be successful, and he's going to bring in a lot of Latin players, a lot of Latin fans. There's going to be a genuine buzz. Now that's going to be the first couple of years. Now, if you sign Juan Soto and 5 years from now you got a shitty team, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to give a crap.
I just see it as it's money. First of all, Boston's not one or two people away from winning.
No, not at all. But he loves Big Papi, and
yeah, I love Big Papi too, as long as my money's there.
Well, again, same thing. If the Red Sox are $500 million and everybody else is 6 and 7, they don't have a chance. If everybody's neck and neck, and he likes Big Papi and he wants to hit off the wall, and that could be a factor. Again, it comes down to me. This is not about where he loves to play. I don't know if he grew up a Yankee fan, a Met fan. I don't know. I believe they said he was a Boston Red Sox fan growing up, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think it comes down to any sort of fan thing. I think he loved playing for the Yankees, but if the Yankees ain't the best offer or close to it, he's going somewhere else. Here's the thing for me. I'd love to see him as a Yankee, but it will not break my heart if they don't. It won't. It won't break my heart because he won one World Series. He went to San Diego. They didn't do much. Went with the Yankees, great, but the Yankees were a good offense without him. Would they make the World Series without him? Probably not, but they would have been a playoff team without him. So, do I want him? Sure. But I would also say I'd rather them take that $600 million if they don't get him and go get some other players. There's some guys out there to get. So
I agree with you.
So we'll see. I don't know how it plays out. I've said it all summer. I still think, push comes to shove, that Juan Soto will be a New York Met next year. I would be surprised if he was anywhere else but the Mets.
I think Cohen sold him right.
I think Cohen
think he's that type of an owner.
No, I think again. I'm sure there's a breaking point. I'm sure if somebody came in at a $900 million, he may say I can't do it. Or if they said, you know what, we want it to be over 10 years and not 15 years. Yeah, he's a smart businessman. But if the money is in their ballpark, and I'm sure it's going to be, I'm going to be shocked if the Mets don't come out of there with Juan Soto. I just think he's more desperate. The Yankees have their guy. They have Judge. Okay, Judge is still young enough. You got Cole. You got Rodon. They're still the makings of a team. They've gotten rid of some dead weight. Gleyber's gone. You lost Rizzo. You're gonna you'll build around Volpe. You'll build around some of these guys, and the Yankees will still be a good team. Will they be a great team? I don't know. Would I like to see Soto back? Sure, got a great bat, but to me, the Mets need him more than the Yankees do. The Mets don't have an identity. They don't have that guy.
But they're not going anywhere with them. They're not going to.
Again, I'm not disagreeing, but you got to start someplace. So to me, a 26-year-old Juan Soto brings in other players. They bring in more revenue. They spend a little bit. They tweak the thing. A year or two from now, the Mets may be a better team, and they still need some rotation help. They still need more bullpen help, and I still think there's some tweaking in the thing. But I can say the same thing about the Yankees. So to me, he's the centerpiece. He's a 26-year-old superstar. They haven't had that. Lindor's close, but he's not that. Lindor's a really good player. He's not great. He's a really, really good player who had some good moments this year and had a good stretch. They need a Juan Soto type guy, and there's not going to be another one on the market for a while. So to me, if I'm the Mets, I'm going full guns, and I'm trying to come out of there with Juan Soto. And like I said, till it's shown differently. My pick, if I'm saying this, it's Juan Soto to the Mets. I don't see that.
I agree with you because, to be honest with you, the Yankees really don't need him because they sell out every game.
Well, listen,
just about, and that's the bottom line.
No, I agree. I agree. You're still putting butts in the seats. The problem is he makes them much better because he's a really good player. You go around that team, they're very streaky. Other than Judge, who's had a phenomenal year last year. I mean, Stanton had some moments, but then he was hurt. Torres was terrible in the first half. He got better in the second half. Rizzo was out all year. Volpe started out like a house of fire for 2 months and then disappeared till September and October. So having that next bat, to me, I would rather get a nice young guy who's a good ball player and not pay him $700 million. But there's no doubt in my mind, you put Juan Soto in the outfield next to Aaron Judge for the next 6 or 7 years. That they're a playoff team every year, barring major injuries. So no,
talking about putting him at first base in a couple of years.
Judge, yeah, I can see Judge in the next couple of years starting to move over there. Yeah, I mean, there's only so long he could play center field. I mean, he's really a right fielder, but if you bring Soto back, he's a right fielder. So you're going to play Judge in center or left if you had to, and then you're going to play Soto in right. And Judge has already came out and said, pay him whatever you got to pay him. We need him. And he understands the market's different. He's a 30-something-year-old guy getting that deal as opposed to Soto at 26. You ask me right now, Judge is the better player. I'll take Judge today over Juan Soto. He's a better defensive player. He's a little bit better a power hitter. Soto's probably a better hitter. But, if you ask me today who's the better player, Judge is the better player. But
Judge is the better offensive player.
And
defensively,
Judge is a much better player than Soto. So Judge is center fielder. There's a guy who's 6'8", 280 pounds playing center field and playing it well. So
tough.
Yeah. So Judge has already said, Joe, that please, pay him what you got to pay him and get him on the team. So no, I don't believe that would cause a lot of jealousy. I'm sure that him and Steinbrenner talked about it, and if there was an issue, they would have worked it out.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Judge is a 33-year-old player. He's not getting a 15-year deal for $700 million.
No, not at all.
So that's the issue there. But we'll see. I mean, they say it could be decided pretty soon. So
supposed to be next week.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. I hate to see it drag out any further. I'd like to see it over.
Well, you got players out there. If you know you're not getting Soto, you could take that money and grab something else. 3-4 other players.
Sure, I'm sure a lot of teams right now are. I know the Yankees just had a couple of calls with some of the better free agent pitchers. If I'm the Yankees, you always want to get better, and if you can grab a Max Fried, I'm all for it. But to me, we got to fix first base. You got to fix second base. Might have to fix third. Now it depends if you move Chisholm over to second, which I think is his natural spot. Then now you need a third baseman. You need a left fielder. Might want to think about fixing the catcher position. I do like the kid, the rookie they had last year. I'm just escaping my brain right now. But
Wilson.
No, not Wilson. I'm trying to think of his name.
The rookie of the year.
Wells.
Wells.
No, the rookie of the year was we healed the pitcher.
No.
Yes, Luis Heel won the rookie of the year in American League. Yes, the pitcher won the American League rookie of the
He
year.
was not a rookie. He won the most valuable player.
No. The Judge was the most valuable player in the American League. Luis Heel was the rookie of the year in the American League.
The catcher.
No, that's the pitcher. The kid who was the pitcher for them.
What the hell did the catcher win?
He didn't win anything. He might have won. He might have won an award of some sort, but he did not win
rookie of the year.
He did not win rookie of the year. Luis Heel won.
You, Tommy.
I'm telling you. I just
look it up. You ever still?
All right, I'll look it up. Hold on.
Look it up. Rookie of the year.
2024. American.
I was surprised because I didn't think he should.
Rookie of the year. Yeah, I said Paul Skynes in the National League and Luis Heel won Major League Rookie.
Right, pitcher. I knew it was a.
That's what I said. I said Luis Heel.
You're right. Yeah. I thought it was the
he was third.
He was a Yankee.
Yeah, Wells was third in the voting, but Heel won it. Yes, the Yankee won it.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, it's okay. So again, I like Wells, but again, there's the bullpen needs some work. I don't want to see Clay Holmes back. I'd let him go.
I don't either.
So the Yankees can take the money half the money that we're going to spend on Soto and go out there, fix first base, fix third base, fix left field, and fix the bullpen. And you know what? They'll be just as good. But if they land Soto, even better. I think it's a great
Now, the big question that I heard, and I thought was a good question. If the Yankees don't get him, who would you rather see him go to?
Well, I mean, listen, for me, boy, I don't know. I would say the Mets. To me, the Mets.
Boston.
I'd rather him go to Mets because you don't have to play him 18 times a year.
Yeah, but to have his face on back page.
I got it, but you know what? At the end of the day, we only see the Mets 4 times during the season and maybe in the World Series.
I know, but
I'd rather not face him. Yeah. Again, do I want to go to Boston and win 3 more? It would bother me more. Honestly, truly, bothers me more if the Boston Red Sox win a World Series than if it does the Mets.
See, I think even with him, they're not going anywhere. They weren't 1 or 2.
No, and neither are the Red Sox. Neither are the Red Sox, but he's a good starting point. He's a good starting point.
It's going to take a few years. It's a lot of money to eat.
Well, you know what? The Mets from June on were probably the best team in baseball. They slipped at the end of the year. But from June to October, the Mets were probably the best team in baseball. Nobody.
Yeah, but towards the end, you could see.
Oh yeah,
starting to
absolutely 100%. But to me, they're only a couple. They were probably. I mean, they took a hurting in their starting bullpen on their starting pitching, and they definitely could use some more offense. I mean, there was a lot of guys who disappeared. I mean, Lindor carried them. So yeah, do I think they're a World Series winner? No, but they weren't that far from being that team this year. So a couple of good players and a guy like Juan Soto, and can do wonders for you. So right now, the Mets just need a superstar. They need a guy who they could he's on the posters. He's challenging Judge for the face of baseball. You need that guy. The Mets don't have it. They don't have that identity. As much as they love people over there love Pete Alonso. Alonso is an average ball player. He's a great slugger. No doubt about it. But he's an average baseball player other than that. He's not terrible. He's not great.
No, he's a better defensive first baseman than he was a year ago.
He's gotten better, but again, but at the end of the day, Juan Soto becomes the face of that franchise, and he's on every billboard in New York City. The Mets get even more games on national TV. Everybody's going to want to see Juan Soto, the $700 million ball player. He's going to be that guy. And if they get to be good, they'll light it up.
Yeah.
But they don't have that face. Lindor is not, for whatever reason, he has not captured the city. People think of the Mets and they're going to think of Pete Alonso. They don't think of Francisco Lindor. Lindor's a much better ball player. So
yeah, I agree.
So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Hopefully,
What happened to Jeff?
I know he's restarting his computer, so I'm waiting for him to
Still-
pop back up. So it is what it is. So I will just carry on. I will just carry on without him. So not much I can do with it. So hey,
All right, Tom.
hey, Dad, that
What?
package I told you about is coming tomorrow between 9:30 and 1:30.
Your wife's going to be here tomorrow.
It's okay. She's not
Oh,
she's not
okay.
going to know what it is, but I'm just saying
Oh,
if you
all
guys
right.
could try to, if somebody's got to be there to sign for it. Otherwise,
Yeah, no, we'll be both of us. We'll be here. Mommy, she's dyeing Mommy's hair.
okay, all right. Just
So,
let you know. Just
I'll
do
just
me a
tell
favor.
Mommy.
Yeah, as soon as it shows,
9:30 and what?
between 9:30 and 1:30.
Okay.
All right. So as soon as I'm on the tracking. So as soon as they tell me when it's coming, I'll give you a call. If it shows up, give me a buzz. I'm gonna stop by and pick it up on my way home.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All
You got it.
Okey-dokey.
Thanks,
Talk to you
Pops.
then.
You got it. That's my pops. He checks in every week, and sometimes he gets things wrong, but that's okay. He was pretty good tonight. So anyway, guys, yeah. I mean, listen, we could go back and forth, speculation. I don't know where Alonso is going to wind up. My opinion is the Mets. I think the Blue Jays are another team with a ton of money. I just don't know if it's going to be the place where he wants to spend 15 years. You know, you have to think of it. You know, his family's in the Dominican, so how much more of a pain is it for them to fly from there through to Canada? Maybe it's easy, maybe it's not. You know, it's another hour flight from New York. So who knows? To me, I think it comes down to it's Mets 1, Yankees 2, Boston 3. That to me, if you ask me, that's the thing. Now it comes out to dollars and cents. I think he'll play for either New York team or Boston. If you ask me the race, I would tell you the Mets were going to win it. Yankees will finish second, and Boston finishes third. Yeah, I agree. If you don't want to go to Canada, they could throw a ton of money. And if you're the Blue Jays and you could pull now, don't sleep on the Dodgers, because if they try to pull another Ohtani deal, I mean, I would hope. I mean, they're going to wind up with the Japanese, this new Japanese pitcher coming out. So I mean, they're just stockpiling players. It doesn't always work. Listen, they won their first real World Series in a long time after doing this for years. So and one bad inning, and this thing could have been completely different. They could have easily lost that World Series if that Game 5 ends that way. That could have been a completely different series. No, there wasn't. The Yankees blew it. They had a horrendous fifth inning, and they just bottomed out. So, Dodgers won it. But just stockpiling great players don't mean you're going to win it all. So, but, I would not sleep on them either. Yeah, I do. I just think the Mets just need him more. Not even just from a baseball standpoint, but just from a PR, just from a culture standpoint. Like, you just want that guy in the locker room. Again, the Yankees have judged for years. The Red Sox had Big Papi, and I hated Big Papi. Teams need an identity. Teams need that guy. When you're a great team, you have that guy that walks in the locker room, and that's the guy. You need that personality. And again, I just think he's if you're going to give a guy a 15-year deal, and I don't like giving anybody that kind of deal, that guy's the guy. 26 years old. He's not even in his prime yet. To me, the guy's another couple of years from really being in his prime. And he hit 40-something homers in Yankee Stadium. 100 RBIs, 300. That's it. I mean, yes, to me, Joe, they don't. Alonso's got to go back on a really small contract. The only way Alonso goes back there for what he wants is if they don't get Soto, then Cohen may feel obligated to give the fans something and give them back. The fans want Alonso back, but it'll hurt a lot less if they don't bring him back if they got Soto. So if Soto comes back, I would tell you there's a 20% chance Alonso does, and it would be at, if you want to come back, here's your deal. Otherwise, he gets a better deal, and he comes back for 3 or 4 years. because they want to soothe the Met fan. Because the Met fan's going to be pissed off they don't get Soto, especially if he winds up with the Yankees. See, I think as a Yankee fan, it would bother me less if the Mets got him than if the Red Sox got him. But I think if the Yankees get him over the Mets, I think it'll bother Met fans more. It just will. I just think that's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, I think Alonso is. I don't think the Mets want to bring him back, but I think they will if they have to. And I don't think he's going to get near the money or market that he thinks he's going to get. I think he's back with the Mets at some point at either a little higher 1 year or 2 year deal. But if he wants a 4 or 5 year deal, he'd have to take severe cut and pay because there's no way in the world. I would look at, again, the kid Olsen got a deal a couple years ago. I think it was 4 years, 20-something million, 28 million. He's good. He should be in that ballpark. He's not better than Olsen. I got to be honest with you. He may hit more home runs than the kid, but he's not a better first baseman and he's not a better ball player. So that's where he should be. I think he's looking to get a 4 or 5 year, 30 million plus deal. I would never give it to him. To me, a year or two, I'd give him 25 and say, I give you 2 years, 25 million a year. Take it or leave it. Yeah. I'd rather him go to the Mets than have to play him 18 times. And I hate Boston. I don't hate the Mets. I sometimes hate Met fans because they win the World Series in April, but I don't hate the Mets. I don't necessarily root for them, but I don't hate the Mets. I hate the Boston Red Sox. I always will. So I don't want them to go there and be the next Big Papi. I just don't. I don't want to see it. To me, if I got to pick it, let them go to the Mets, and if they're successful, they're successful. More power to them. So, but yeah, to go to the Red Sox and have them come to Yankee Stadium 9 times a year and have to go up there and face them 9 times. More so, to be honest with you, more so the fact I just don't want to see the Red Sox win a World Series. It drives me crazy. I hate that team since I'm a kid. I'll always hate that team. It's not the same. The rivalry's gone. I would tell you now, as a Yankee fan, I hate the Houston Astros more than I hate the Boston Red Sox. I do. I hate that midget second baseman they got. I hate that team. I hate them, and I think there's more of a rival. I think if you ask most Yankee fans at a Yankee game right now, which team they hated more. Now, I'm not saying they don't hate the Red Sox, because I do and they do. I think they hate the Astros more right now because of those years. Because it just, first off, the cheating scandal, I think robbed the Yankees of the best chance they had to win to World Series in 2017. Then, all the years after that, every other chance they had, Altuve with the home run in the 9th inning off of Chapman. All those years they won. If you're a Yankee fan right now, you hate the Houston Astros more than you hate the Boston Red Sox. So yeah, again, if you wind up with the Dodgers, so be it. To be honest with you, if he's not signing with the Yankees, I'd rather him go to the Dodgers. I see the Dodgers. You see them a couple games a year, and in the World Series. So we'll deal with it. So if I had my pick, that's where I'd rather him go. But I think it's East Coast, and I think it's one of two teams. And again, my pick has been, and I'll keep it as the Mets. So. Stick around. We got more and more for you to have here. Hopefully, Jeff is finally going to get on here. I'll add him to the stage. He's having computer problems. There he is. Hello, Hefe. Handsome bastard. Hi, Jeff. Hefe. There he is. Jeffy.
What's up, man?
There you are. I
Can
hear
you
you
hear-
better now. You're
Hear
not
me?
moving, but yeah, I do hear your voice. Yes. Now you're frozen. It seems like I'm going to be on my own tonight, guys.
What's up?
You're
Can
in
you hear
and
me?
you're out. You're in and out. So
I
yes,
can't even see it.
we're here. Everybody out there sees me, I guess, right? Joey and Frankie.
Yeah.
Have it? Okay. He's gone again. So let's see. All right, so yeah, I see Jeff too, but he's not. He's trying to talk to me through the thing. Anyway, again, so yeah, let's move on. It's 7:45. Hard Rock and Sports. Thanks, guys. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. This year was a really nice one. It was very calm. Thanksgiving at my mom's house. She's been she hurt her leg and back a while back, so she's a little under the weather, but she made it happen. We had a nice day with the cousins and my son Chris. So it was a nice day, and it's always, I don't take it for granted. At some point in my life, I know I took it for granted, all the family occasions, but I don't now. Like from this point on in my life, I really do appreciate each holiday. We get 3, at my family for sure. We get Easter at my aunt's, and then Thanksgiving, and Christmas Eve at my mom's. Right now those 3, and then sometime around Christmas, my wife and I have the kids over. And we do our thing. So, but that's getting to be more and more of a tradition, and hopefully that gains a little steam, and we have a 4th day a year. But right now, I got 3 solid days a year where I see my family and the kids, and we break bread and have a few laughs, make fun of each other, and tell stories. So, but. In the meantime, I hope you guys had a good one, and stick around. We got more to talk about. I'm going to move on a little bit, waiting for Jeff. Hopefully we get Jeff up and running, and hopefully he gets there. So let's move on to I'll talk about the Lions and the Bills. I got to tell you the truth. I mean, I've been on the Lions and Bills all year. The Lions have been my pick for 2 years, and if Dan Campbell didn't screw it up last year, I thought the Lions were going to the Super Bowl last year, but they are basically the most complete team in football. I think the only thing that stops the Lions is Dan Campbell. That's the only thing. If he doesn't get in the way, they have a 2-headed monster at running back. They've got a good receiving core. Goff has played really well, and they've got a good defense. The only thing that stops that team is themselves. Who's the second best team in the NFC? Is it the Packers? And I think they're playing tonight. Who's the second best team in the NFC? I don't know if there really is a challenge out of the NFC. The Eagles, I think the Eagles were a bit overrated, to be honest with you. They're playing much better. Obviously, you can make a strong case for Saquon Barkley as the MVP. I'm going to add Jeff in. So
overrated, to be honest with you.
I'm hearing Jeff. I'm hearing me through Jeff. What's up, Hefe? Jeffy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Yes. Talk.
Yeah, I can.
Can you see me?
Oh man, I guess not.
Yeah, I see you, Jeff. Now I'm hearing you better. Jeff.
Yeah,
you're there, you're not,
you're
there.
Me?
You're just keep going, because you're getting better, and then you're fading on me. Hefe. Now you're completely frozen.
Fuck.
Hefe. Think it's a computer, or you think it's maybe your internet?
Can you hear?
When you talk, I hear you. No, I can't hear him through the phone. I'm not sure he has pants on, Joe. I would never.
Can you hear me now?
I can. You when you talk, I do.
Wow.
Yeah. Jeff, do you want to? You want me to try to send you a link? Jeff, I can.
All right. Well, here's hoping that we stay.
Yeah.
Took long enough.
Yeah. I think.
I guess not now.
Yeah, you're there. You keep talking. You're there.
This is really.
Yeah,
is to go on.
I'm hearing you
YouTube
now.
And this show. That's it.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you pretty good.
Now you can't hear me at all, right?
No, I hear you right now. You just said, "Can you hear me?" Yeah. Yes. Jeff?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so it looks like I'm on finally.
Okay. So let's keep it going. Let's see
That
what we're
only
up to.
took a half hour.
All right. Well, listen. What can we do? We got to work on it. I don't know. Maybe it's your internet. I don't know if it's.
No, I got to get. No, it's got to be this computer, man. It's got to be.
All right.
I don't know what the fuck is up with
Well,
it.
I mean,
But
maybe try it. Maybe
now.
next time try it through your phone and see if that if it's maybe that. Yeah, Joe, we gotta get him some rabbit ears, Joe. But no, you're good now. So all
No,
right,
listen,
Jeff. What'd you say?
What's going on?
How much?
What's
so,
going on? I have started.
All right, so let's backtrack to Jeff. How was your week?
Good.
Yeah?
It's not over yet. I got to work tomorrow.
Oh, special day.
Yeah, my boss is sick.
Oh, okay.
Special day.
How was Thanksgiving?
Good.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, so we got we got some of the baseball out of the way. I do want to talk about the Golden Rule. I don't know if you had a chance to look that up today. The Golden Rule.
No, I saw it for the first time.
Yeah,
I saw it for the first time today. What is it?
All right, so the Golden Rule is something they've been kicking around, and from what I understand, there's a team called I know you've never heard of them, the Savannah Bananas. It's this traveling circus of a baseball team, and they play these weird games with weird rules. And one of the rules is that they have this thing called the Golden at Bat, and at any point they can substitute a guy who's like, let's say you're playing in the game and you make it out, and then 2 batters later, you could get back up again and jump into somebody else's spot for an at bat. You can only do it once a game. So baseball wants to do the same thing now. They're talking about it. That's not in yet or any of that stuff, but they call it the golden rule at bat. So at any point in the game, so let me give you a quick scenario. Aaron Judge makes the last out in the 8th inning, right? Comes up in the 9th inning. There's a runner on first base now. First guy gets on, and it's the number, let's say it's the number 6 hitters up for whatever reason. They could say, no, you sit. Judge is going to take your at bat.
You're frozen.
I'm frozen? I think you're frozen. Yeah, back.
Now you're all right.
Okay, so did you get that? So
I think it's stupid.
Yes, it's the dumbest thing ever. And if you're a true baseball fan, you got to hate this. I don't know if you guys, but to me, you can literally go, okay, so Aaron Judge is, let's say, the second batter in the 9th inning, and you're down a run. The first guy gets up and gets a hit. Aaron Judge gets up, and let's say he pops up and he's out or he strikes out. He could actually go right back and hit again. You skip over the 4th batter. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And if baseball's trying to find new ways to invigorate the game and juice up the game, leave it alone. I think they've done a nice job right now. Yeah,
they're trying to find new ways to ruin the game.
Yes, and that's the truth.
Let me tell you how I think they've ruined baseball in the last 10 years, if not more. Interleague play.
Okay, I agree.
You made a farce of the World Series.
Yep.
If you're going to do interleague play, you might as well take everybody split the country in the middle. Everybody from the East Coast goes in the American League. Everybody from the West Coast goes in the National League, and do it that way. That's one thing. All right, that way you could fucking just mishmash the teams, and that's that.
Right.
Stupid. I don't care what anybody says. Taking away or adding the DH to the National League. I don't care. It's what separated the leagues. It's what made everything different about the American League and baseball. Why not just call it Major League Baseball and make a bunch of fucking divisions and leave it at that? Don't even call it American League and National League, because what's the point? Because that's what separated the two. Okay. Then putting a timer on certain things, I can almost see that, because some guys just wasted too much time in the batter's box and in between pitches and, all this other shit. You got to move that game along a little bit, without a doubt. But I don't know about putting a clock on things. But it seems as though they just want to make it a video game, an extension of a video game.
Mhm.
And now this is like, okay, like you just said, Aaron Judge makes an out. You're down by 1. You let your leadoff guy get on. He gets on. He's batting over 300. He gets walks, whatever. He steals. Now put Judge back on. It's a waste. Yeah, Mike Hargrove.
Mike Hargrove. Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, I don't like it. I think, there's been a couple of things that they've done that I can actually say that I like. One, I like the pitch clock, and I'll tell you why. You're right, Jeff. I think it's terrible to do it, but it does speed up the game. And as a guy who likes baseball, you want it to move a little bit. There were too much guys just walking around and too much time between pitches. I get it. And if it happens once or twice, but it was after every pitch. Guys stepping out, they're walking around. To me, I like it.
You know what? You want the batter wants to step out? Okay, you can step out as many times as you want. Once you're out of the box for X amount of time, I could see putting a timer on him to see where he's not getting in and out of the box after every pitch. You out of the box too long, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever it may be, strike. Strike without even throwing a fucking pitch. Fuck him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Frankie, I kind of agree with you on the 3 batter rule. I think it's dumb, but I also, you get to those games and they change the pitches 5 times in the 8th inning. After a while, but it's all part of strategy, so I can live with that. I like the fact that they took away the shift. I don't like the ghost runner. So
first of all, Frank Catalano, what do you mean if it's in the 12th? If you're switching pitches that early, you never. By the time you get to the 12th, you'll be using your fucking backup shortstop as a pitcher. Tom, I wanted to just real quick with that one.
Sure.
I agree with you, but isn't the whole point of baseball the strategy of it?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so now if you have a right-handed batter and you want to change a pitcher to face up against that particular batter, you should be able to do it.
I agree.
I think you should be able to do it. When you say ghost runner, do you mean that's when they put the guy on second base?
Yes.
That's retarded. Why don't we just put him on third base and let him go halfway down to see a way if they hit the ball in the infield, he could still score.
I'm with you. I don't like the ghost runner. Now, I would say if you get to the 16th inning of a game, yeah, you can think about it. That you could say, all right, if you get to the 16th inning or it's 1 o'clock in the morning, we start the next inning off with a ghost runner. I'm okay, but you can't do it in the 10th inning of a game. At 9:30 at night in May. It's just you can't. It's a baseball game. You play it out. But I could see having a rule where if you get to a certain point where you're running out of players and that I get. But short of that, no. I don't like the ghost runner. I'm not crazy. I don't like the fact that you can't throw with a first base more than once or twice at a bat because you're basically giving the guy a free head start. So
well, you know what? That I don't mind too much. Because sometimes the pitcher will just keep going over and over and over, and sometimes it gets stupid. Like this guy isn't going anywhere, and especially now you threw the ball so many times over there. He knows that he's being watched. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because he'd be stupid.
No, I agree. I agree. Again, can I live with that? Yeah.
It was all done to speed up the game, and I understand that. But you know what? It's what made baseball.
Correct. The problem is there's too many other options. Like years ago, in the 1970s, when you turned on TV, there wasn't anything to watch. So you watched the baseball game. Didn't matter how long it took, and those games didn't take long. You go back and look at some of those scores and some of the game times. You watch, and I watch a lot of some of the classics, and the guys for the most part stayed in the batter's box. The pitcher stayed on the rubber. And the games moved. You didn't have to. Every once in a while, the guy step off, you rethink it, guy step out of a batter's box. There was the occasional guy like Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay. But it's gotten to the point now where guys step out every pitch, where pitchers step off the mound, 4 times before they throw a ball. I don't mind the pitch clock. I don't like the shift. I'm glad they got rid of it. Not crazy about the 3 batter rule, and I don't like the ghost runner, and I don't want the golden the bat rule.
Why don't you like the shift? Why?
You know why, Jeff? Here's why, and it's a selfish reason because batters today don't know how to hit away from the shift, and every time you looked up, a guy would hit a rocket into short right field or short left field, and there'd be a guy standing there. There'd be a third guy in the outfield on that side of the field.
All
I
right,
just didn't
but now
like it. But I get the idea. It's all part of strategy. I get it.
whose fault is that?
The players, absolutely, 100%.
It's the player's fault, because if he doesn't know which way to hit the ball or try to attempt to push it that way, then, he's on his own. You hit a little bit out of range of the third baseman, bang, you may have a double.
I couldn't agree with you more. Listen, if the players would have been able to hit away from the shift, they would never have been it wouldn't be done, and it wouldn't have to be a rule against it. But to me, it was ruining the flow of the game, and I hated every second of it. As a Yankee fan, when it worked, I still hated it. I just hate the shift.
As long as you put the 9 players required on the field, you should be able to line them up wherever you want, and then that's up to you.
I
You know
agree.
who should get in trouble, should have to answer for that? The batting coach should have to answer for that.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Bench manager or bench coach should have to answer for that. There's a lot of people that should have to answer for that. How could this guy not know to hit that way?
I agree. But since they weren't, it was happening for years, and guys weren't figuring it out. Baseball said, we finally got to do something about it. And I don't know if batting average has gone up. I've never checked, but I would tell you that just one of those things I couldn't stand. A lot of stuff. I hate the fact that you can't barrel into the catcher anymore. I hate the fact that you can't slide hard into second base. There's a lot of things I hate about the game, but the speed of the game right now is at a good pace, and I think it's okay. Putting in a rule like this is a gimmick, and baseball should not have gimmicks. This should not be this. If anybody, whoever came and said this might be a rule, needs to get slapped right in the face.
Well, listen, just a couple that you just mentioned right there about not barreling into the catcher.
Yep.
You know what? I could deal with that one, because if your catcher is one of your better players and he's looking towards right field and a guy is coming in on his left trying to score and he ain't looking, but yet he's kind of blocking the plate, you want that guy getting incapacitated for a couple of weeks because he was waiting for the ball, and now
I agree with you, Jeff, except for this. They've taken that to the extreme now. So there was I'll try to find it maybe for next week, but there was a play this year with a catcher where the batter was out by 10 steps, and the catcher basically had his foot on the plate, waiting for the ball to come in, and they called the runner safe because they said he was blocking the plate. Like, they did not give him fair. And if you watch the replay, the guy was out by 10 feet. I mean, it wasn't even close, but they called the runner safe because they said that the catcher was blocking the plate and literally just had his foot, basically. He was in front of the plate, and he had to come back to tag the guy who basically didn't even slide. And they called the runner safe because they said he was blocking the plate and didn't give him the space to slide and avoid the collision. So while I agree with you, the extreme of, Pete Rose barreling over Ray Fosse, I get that we could maybe do without it, but they've taken it to such an extreme because of that it's ruined part of the game. And also, you're not able to slide at second base. You can't slide it. You cannot take a guy out on a double play anymore. It's ridiculous.
Well, they did ruin the game by making a rule like that. They completely ruined the game.
Yeah,
and that's the shame of it.
Yeah,
a lot of these rules. Yeah, I can understand them. I feel you, but like with the home plate, you want to block the plate, you should have the ball. If you don't have the ball, you can't block the plate. That's all.
Yeah,
if you have the play, if you are ready to make the play and have the ball in your possession, and that guy wants to come down and barrel you, now you're ready for it. Then I could see it happening. But I don't know, man. There's just, it's a pussification, and I think a big part of it is that these guys are making so much money.
Yes.
Do you want your catcher, all-star catcher, or anybody on your team wrecking a knee because somebody's blocking the plate? You want your second baseman getting fucking spiked and mangled. I mean, I understand mangled may be a hard word to use, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I feel you on that, man. It's, it is a shame.
Yep. Again, I just, let's go back to the original. Let's take the gimmick out. Do not put in a rule like the golden rule. I would tell you, if they put that rule in, I would boycott the league. I really would boycott baseball. I've heard a couple of people say it on the radio. Talked to a couple of friends who felt the same way. And at some point, you just got to go stop. Leave the game alone. It's been this way for 100+ years. It's a great game. Jeff, you brought up some great points about, interleague play. I like the idea of interleague play where you play maybe one or two series a year. You play the Mets and the Yankees. The let's say the Cardinals and the Royals, the Cubs and the White Sox, and you play a series a year. I think that's fun. But now, to me, the most pure title series was the World Series, because you had the National League team playing the American League team, and they didn't face each other during the year unless it was the Yankees and the Mets, or you got Chicago and that was a couple of games. To me, that is the only thing that I don't like the mix the way it is now. So I agree with your tone.
No, it's not. It shouldn't be that way, man. Listen, give it to them 3 times a year: Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Give them their natural rivals.
Yes.
The closest team to them. Okay. That's fine. There's no problems with that. You could think about it. It's not going to be that hard to figure out.
Nope.
Maybe Arizona, and they don't even have to be interleague play. Maybe Arizona plays Colorado. Maybe that's the closest team. Maybe the Angels play the Dodgers. Maybe the Padres play, I don't know, the fucking Mariners or something. I don't know. You figure it out.
Yep.
And keep the leagues the way they were. It's why certain players pick certain leagues to play.
I couldn't. That one I completely agree. I think they've bastardized it so much that it again. It's still the World Series, and I get it. But if the Dodgers and the Yankees haven't played at all for 20 years and they play in the World Series, it's magical. The Yankees and Dodgers played the last couple of years against each other. It's still the Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series, but it's different. So I agree. I think
because it's already happened.
Yeah. So
When was the last time the Dodgers and Yankees played in the World Series? Was 1978?
No,
1981.
81.
So 43 years ago.
Yep.
Okay, that's a tremendous amount of time.
Yep.
43 years ago, is the last time that these teams played, and they ruined it. Yeah, like you said, I understand what you're saying. It's still the World Series. Yeah, it's still special because it's the World Series. But we just watched this.
Correct. It's just a little. There's just a little shine off the rose. Again, if the first time the Yankees and the Dodgers got to play each other was 43 years ago, it's a huge event. As opposed to they played last year and Aaron Judge broke his foot playing in Dodger Stadium. They just played. So it's a little. Again, it's still the World Series. It's still the Yankees and the Dodgers. But if it was the first time they had actually played against each other in 40 years, how huge that would have been. I just don't like the fact that every other series is an interleague series. It's no longer interleague. It's I don't even know. To me, it's like every other sport. Every other sport, everybody plays against each other across town. There are rivals. Yes, they may not play the other league as many times, but it just takes the luster out of it. That's
what is the difference? What was the difference? I'll tell you what the difference was. Okay, in the NBA, the Knicks could play the fucking Utah Jazz and then go off to Los Angeles and play the Lakers. You know what? It's the same game. It's the same game. The game's not different. They play the same game, East versus West. Hockey, you could go down and play the Atlanta. I don't even know if the Atlanta Thrashers are still a team. I don't even know. I don't think they are. You could go play the Carolina Hurricanes. The next game, go up and play the Vancouver Canucks. Okay? The game is still the same. Even football. Yeah, all right. So maybe this team runs the ball, maybe that team doesn't. They're a passing team, but they're still, the common goal is still the same. The National League and the American League were two entities, two different leagues.
Mm-hmm.
People would leave the National League to go to the American League because it put more time on their career, because pitchers didn't have to hit. Guys could have been the DH in the American League. I feel as though that there was too much of a difference between the two leagues. Now you made them the same. The pitchers don't hit no more. I think it's bullshit. Let people see the way the game used to be played.
Mm-hmm.
It's a throwback to the way the game used to be played.
Yeah.
And they don't do it no more.
No, you're right. You're right. So like I said, let's hope that baseball leaves the game alone And we just thought the biggest thing we talk about is where Juan Soto winds up this year, and we'll hopefully find out in the next 2 weeks. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom, glad you guys are here. We should be pretty steady the next few weeks. The holidays fall on the Wednesdays before the Thursday, so we'll be here. I would say, I would guess the 26th will be our year-end New Year's Eve show, where Jeff will do his the death list. I don't know, well, that's what we call it around here.
Well, that's going to be the last show for the year.
Yeah, because the next Thursday is after. So I don't know if you want to do it the day after New Year's. Usually we do it the last show of the year.
Well, yeah,
we could do it the first show of the next year because then it's official.
You never know who sneaks in under the wire.
Well, it happened to us a couple of years ago. Remember, you did the list, and I think Betty White died right after you did the list. So.
I think we had to amend the list a couple times.
Yeah, so we could do it January 2nd when we do the show. So that would be official. That it would be
however you want to do it is fine with me.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But stick around. We got the holidays coming up, and they're sneaking in. So guys, make sure you enjoy it. I have to put the brakes on my life. I've been running so crazy for the last month and a half, that I said starting this weekend, I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm going to start enjoying the holiday theme and feel, and hopefully everybody else will too. But we're a couple weeks away, Jeff. I know you got the house working, you got the trees up. Did you watch the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving? Do you have all the other Charlie Browns and all the other cartoons ready to go this year?
I have them on DVR, and I watched some of them. When I watched the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown late, and I slipped in Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is definitely third on the list.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it's a distant third. It's a distant third.
Well, yes.
It's good. It's good.
I have to agree. It is a distant third, but you know what? Charlie Brown is still Charlie Brown.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I believe at this point in time, it is the only Charlie Brown that's on that has Peppermint Patty and Marcy.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. Well, let me ask you this question. Is it Charlie Brown Christmas or Halloween? Which one's number one?
Oh, man. Wow.
Come on.
That is tough because both of them are ultimate classics.
100%. It just comes down to, which,
I will answer just by this. All right. I've got to get the right prop. But this is my answer.
There it is. Yep, there it is.
Okay.
To me, it comes out to two scenes. Is it in the pumpkin patch calling for the Great Pumpkin, or is it the big scene, the Linus scene where he does the speech in Charlie Brown Christmas? That's where it comes down to. Which one do you love better? Because those are the two most iconic parts of the shows.
I gotta say, I think the Linus one brings a tear to my eye, man.
Listen, there's no way possible that you can't.
What's that?
You got to have a tear when you sit there now and you hear Linus do the whole speech, and they put the blanket around the tree and they put the ornaments. It's just nothing. I don't care how old you are. You're an 8-year-old kid when you see that scene. That's the way it goes. There he is, Charlie Brown and his tree. So,
and then we got this is stuff that I have out all year. These were ornaments that never made it to the tree that I put. I got a couple Charlie Brown ones here and a Snoopy here.
I have to say. So Peppermint Patty and Marcy don't make it into the Christmas one.
No.
Wow, I did not remember that. I did not remember that.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, tomorrow night is Rudolph again. Now, most people say I've seen it. It's the 60th anniversary, I believe, and it's a special 75-minute version. So I guess they're putting scenes back in it. So,
really?
Yeah, NBC tomorrow night, DVR it. The special 75-minute edition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Watch this. Let's see. This is how serious I am about this.
Go ahead.
We're going to bring the wife on.
And make sure
I'm going to tell her that she needs to get this DVR if she's downstairs. There we go. What are you doing? Are you all right?
Hi, Sharon.
Yeah, downstairs.
Can you do me a favor, please? And tomorrow night, Charlie Brown is on. It's a 75th.
No. Rudolph.
It's the 75-minute edition of that. Can you make sure you tape it, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Make sure. Tape it now.
NBC.
NBC, Channel 4.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Look at Jeff. He's got his assistant all over it.
I'm in what I got. I'm on it.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got a DVR for tomorrow night, and I will wait till it finishes. I've got let's see, Year Without a Santa Claus, The Grinch,
I got that.
and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and now Rudolph. They'll all be taped as of tomorrow. So probably Saturday morning will be my time to kind of get up and I'll start watching them. And then there's been a few of the classics. Oh, no, there's a few of the newer ones that I've never watched, like Fred Claus, Elf. I've not been able to get through. So I've DVR'd them, and I'm going to make the attempt this year to get through some of those newer classics, as they call them.
This is the ones I have to watch. Okay, no questions asked. I must watch these. Okay, I watched Rudolph. Rudolph was my number one for years. It has slipped. Okay,
really?
Yeah, it has slipped, and now I have Charlie Brown Christmas is my number one. Rudolph is up there, but it's even behind Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Wow, okay. It really slid down the pole.
I must watch Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol.
Now that's one I remember watching. I'm gonna have to search for that online. I'm sure it's not on TV. You never made that.
This is the thing. You got to sign up for. You got to get iTunes.
Okay.
Buy it like I did.
Oh, really?
I have that one. Okay. Joe Cloak, I don't even want to know what heinous things you're talking about over there with your warped mind.
I'll still say my favorite one for years. And my wife actually, when we first started dating, she knew it was my favorite, and she went out and found it on DVD. And I have it on DVD somewhere. I gotta dig it out. But I'll find it online if I have to. Was the Fat Albert Christmas special?
Oh man!
And I'm telling you, one of the most classics of all time. Fat Albert Christmas special is an all-time classic. If you want just unwoke, it was great. So,
well, back then it was another time,
Oh yeah. See, Fred, I haven't seen Fred Claus yet. I do have a DVR. I'm going to try to get through it. But we'll see. Listen, there's a lot of I also saw that they put out. I think Netflix did it, or it's Amazon Prime. Not sure which one. One of them did a Christmas Vacation reunion, and Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo reprised their roles, and it's a. So if you're a fan of the Christmas Vacation or the Vacation movies, there's a short run, I think, for the month of December that's on either Amazon Prime or Netflix. I'm going to check it out. I'm not the biggest Christmas Vacation guy, but I love when they, I just watched the Beverly Hills Cop 4. I love when they kind of go back and they bring these characters back. It's just fun. I enjoy it. So, I'll check it out. 4 Christmases. I don't know that one.
I've heard that one. But Frank Catalano, you say you love how we love it. It's how could you not, man?
Yeah.
When we were kids and Rudolph was on or Charlie Brown was on, there was no DVR, there was no VC.
No, you had one shot at it.
Nothing. You had one shot. And God forbid, your mother came to you and you said, when is Rudolph going to be on? And she'd be like, well, it was on Tuesday. I forgot. I'm sorry. And I remember busting balls about getting the TV guide.
Oh, sure.
And my mother used to scour through the TV guide to see what day this was on.
Oh, yeah.
She knew. And I remember Charlie Brown specifically. Mm-hmm. My mother and father used to get us these like little Madison cakes.
Okay.
And we used to sit, me and my brother, right alongside the coffee table. And we used to watch that. And my mother would get us the little Dolly Madison cakes and put them on a plate for us and stuff. We each had our own because we went out in the store that day with a glass of soda. And they used to say, all right, now sit there and watch a Christmas show. Because they didn't want to watch the Christmas shows.
No, it was way to keep you quiet. And there was usually 2 of them at least, right? Like there would usually be 2 shows for the most part.
I believe. Yeah. Right? So Charlie Brown, I think, was a half hour. There might have been another Charlie Brown.
Frosty, I think, was like a half hour, but I think Rudolph's an hour. Normal Rudolph's like an hour.
That Frosty, is my bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, in fact, it was on the other night. My wife said to me, Frosty's on tonight. I said, you know what? I'm not that big a Frosty guy. I used to be, but I'm not a big Frosty guy. So I I love the Santa Claus ones. You know, the Year Without Santa Claus. Santa Claus is coming to town. I love those. I
The
love all,
Santa Claus is a classic because
oh yeah.
it's just classic. It's classic. The Heat Miser,
Oh yeah.
oh God, man, come on, man.
Oh yeah. But
It's just
you know-
such great stuff. And you know what?
Oh.
Every now, I don't know about you,
yeah.
58 years old, I watch this shit and it brings me back
Oh, absolutely.
that moment in time when I'm sitting there watching it, man.
100%. Listen, 100%. Like my wife said to me, like, how do you watch this? It's simple. It reminds me of being a kid. It reminds me of watching these things and worrying about the next day getting outside and playing with my friends or just being a kid. It's just fun stuff. Yeah, it's you watch it now and you go, how did I watch this? But you know, like I look forward to watching it. I just do, and it's DVR'd.
Very
Sometimes
easy.
I have it year round.
You want women nurture. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
your wife is always worrying about something, worrying about kids. You got a grandchild now, a couple grandchildren. She's worried about grandchildren. She may be worrying about the actual Christmas. Men are simple. Charlie Brown is on, you know what I mean? And Frank, in your situation, that's a different situation. And I don't know how that feels.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine for you, it must bring back a lot of things. And
Sure.
I'm happy for you, man. If it makes you happy, that's great. I hope it does, man. I hope you get a little joy out of it.
It will always remind Frankie. You know, I'm lucky. My parents are still here. I get to enjoy them. But every time I watch one of those, I remember living on Bay Street, and we had a room where my parents had their pull-out bed, and we would watch TV in there every night together. And my dad had his green recliner, and that's where he sat. And he would sit angled from the TV. And of course, me or my brother with the remotes. He'd get up, switch to channel 9, switch to channel 2, and we'd get up and do it. And we sat there in there, my mother behind us and my father in front of us. And I still have that picture always of my dad and watching these shows. And my parents would watch it with us. It wasn't like they would say go in the room. We had one TV, so you watched it together.
Yeah.
And every single year we watched it. And that it just always remind me of that. And someday, hopefully, I'll get to watch it with my grandkids, and you know, it'll be a tradition with them. But you know, the difference now is these shows are on 4 or 5 times before Christmas.
That's okay.
Which is fine. I'm just saying, back then you had one shot. If you fell asleep early and you missed Rudolph, you had to wait a year to get it back because there was no other chance. Until DVRs came out, until VCRs came out, you had no chance.
Who's your dark horse Christmas show?
Oh, the dark horse one. I'll tell you the dark horse one. I love it. I watch it every year, and nobody ever. I guarantee you never watch it. It's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It's with the little mice.
Yeah, I've seen that one plenty of times.
That is one of my favorite because there's a spot in there where it brings it. I well up every single time, and it's just one of those shows. It's ridiculous. I watch it every single time.
There's I got to go with the Grinch That Stole Christmas, man.
The cartoon, not the movie, not the
Yeah,
Jim
no,
Carrey.
not the movies. It's just such
Yes,
a classic.
yes.
It just is.
Yeah, it just again takes you back to a place in your life where things were simple and easy for you, and it's just good memories. And like I said, I you know, now I can just put a reminder and it'll tell me when it's coming on next, and I don't have to, but I DVR it and I watch it when I feel like it, and it's a classics. And I don't every year I do the same thing, and I watch them every year. My wife goes, "Why do you do this? You watch this every year?" And I said, "Because I've done it for 57 years or 56. This will be the 57th year that I turn on one of these shows and I watch it. This is the way it goes. That's just the way it is. So
Yeah, I have to.
yeah, but you know, again, there's other things. I'm a big Miracle on 34th Street. I love it. I'm not a big Wonderful Life guy. I watched it probably one time all the way through.
Never watched it.
I would tell you the one thing I do miss, and we've talked about this in the past, and we got a different audience except for Frank. I miss the variety shows. You know, I miss like the Dean Martin Christmas special. I miss
I
Bob
can
Hope.
say it right now without even looking up. I know he's going to say that he likes those too. Because right, that was Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, it was nothing like the Saturday before Christmas or the night before Christmas. Sometimes you would turn on and Dean Martin had his, and then there was the Bing Crosby one. And there was 4 or 5 or 6 of these a year. And you watched every one of them because there wasn't anything else to watch. But, you know, those I missed. The simple just very easy variety Christmas specials. The one they still play now. Bing Crosby, what's his name? David Bowie shows up and sings with Bing Crosby. It's one of the classics.
Yeah.
Osmond's Family Christmas. That's another big one. So that's the kind of stuff I miss. You're never going to recapture that. It's too overdone now. Everything is computers and it's too much. I'll stick with the cartoons for this point on. That'll be my tradition, and I do look forward to it. I know, Jeff, Thanksgiving you watch the Wooden Soldiers. Is there a Christmas Eve, Christmas Day show that you watch?
No. Most of my Christmas days are spent bitching and moaning because I got to drive to Jersey, and that means I sit in traffic on Staten Island, sit in traffic through Jersey, then get there, eat. My mother's house is usually about 85 degrees, and then we leave, and then all of a sudden I feel everything rotating and churning, and then I get stuck in traffic, and then hit traffic all the way to my house. The whole time while holding on to something by the skin of my teeth. That I'm like, I have
not a great Christmas, Jeff.
But that's what Christmas is. But this year I want to do something different. I want to tell my mother that I want to go the Saturday after Christmas to see where I'm not sitting in traffic. And if I do have to sit in traffic, it's not going to be as bad because it's like it's only us, the four of us. What difference does it make Christmas the next day?
Yeah.
So, boy, we got to break this news to Mom soon if she's.
Maybe she's listening. Maybe you just broke it to her.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? The phone ain't ringing, so it's all good.
Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom. We're talking a little Christmas. We're a couple weeks away, but we do love our Christmas time around here. And each week I will bring it up. We'll talk about next week. We'll talk about we've always talked about the Die Hard movies. Are they Christmas? Are they not Christmas? To me, it's a Christmas. Next week I'm going to come out with a bunch of movies, TV shows, maybe that weren't necessarily called Christmas movies, but I want to challenge Jeff to say, and maybe you guys too, Frankie, you're always welcome to join in and say if you think what makes a Christmas movie. Well, let me ask you this question. We'll do it next week, but what we talk about the Die Hard movie, right? Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? I say it is because the whole theme of it is around Christmas. Home Alone, the theme of it is around Christmas. Even though it's a little kid that got left behind, the theory is the family's wait for Christmas.
Well, that's a completely different story, man.
Why?
I'm sorry, because it just is. It's
true. No, Die Hard, he goes out to spend Christmas with his family. His wife's company's having a Christmas party.
The main part of the movie is not Christmas.
Same thing for Home Alone. The main part of the movie is not Christmas.
The main part of the movie was Christmas.
No, you're dead wrong.
Decorations in there.
No, you're dead wrong.
Kid is left alone on Christmas. It's a kid movie.
Die Hard. He goes to a Christmas party at Christmas time. There's trees. There's decorations everywhere. Yeah, people are getting blown up and shot. I get it. It's a different form of it. But to me, that's just Christmas as Home Alone. What makes a movie a Christmas movie or not?
Well, have Christmas in it, man.
Okay, so Die Hard's got Christmas in it. Both movies the first two Die Hards have Christmas in it. It's all centered around Christmas time and flying to family and all that. So,
yeah, but then all of a sudden buildings are getting blown up and everything else. It's not, man.
Frankie, we had this argument last year. I ain't having it with you. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Sorry. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Listen, Frank, don't even waste your time typing. Don't waste your time arguing. This is a man that up until 3 weeks ago thought Daniel Jones was one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
We'll get to Daniel Jones.
Kind of franchise quarterback, and you're going to argue about Die Hard, really?
Right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on because I'm going to come back to it next week. Let's talk a little football.
We forget the football. We're past that now.
We're past football. All right, so go ahead.
We're past football. I want to touch base on a couple things, but one thing that I want to touch base on, I've been watching a lot of old wrestling videos, shorts.
Okay, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay, and some of this stuff, when you watch it, and it looks like it's shot with your great grandfather's like video camera that you're surprised the sound is on. Okay,
Yeah, you think it's like not like the was it 8 mm,
like a Super 8. Yeah,
like the
The same-
Sabruta, like it's a Sabruta film, just a little better clarity.
yeah. There you go. It's just it's amazing how far and where we are now with wrestling and what's going on with wrestling. There was just a woman's battle royale or something. I guess might it was a Survivor Series,
Okay.
and they fought as hard as the men. It looked like,
Oh yeah.
like that. It isn't like cheesecake stuff anymore, man.
Oh, I can't watch it now. I don't know why. I try. Like I watched WrestleMania last year. I think I told you my stepson Gary came over. We rented it, or I got it somehow. And we watched it, and it was actually fun to watch. I'm glad I watched it. But it's just different. I don't know if it's too clean. With the pictures are too clean. Maybe I
believe that. I
Yeah.
agree with you on that.
yeah, I believe it's just too. The picture of it itself just doesn't do it for me. And then the wrestling itself, it's not enough wrestling. It's too much story. And can I throw you through a table that's got glass under it, but underneath it's got that barbed wire wrapped around a baseball bat? I don't need any of that. Like,
You know what gets me? What
Yeah.
ruined wrestling for me?
Okay.
When they let secrets of Vince McMahon out.
Okay.
When we heard that Vince McMahon shit on some girl during a three-way, and then it makes me like when all of these women are wrestling, Rhea Ripley and Bailey and all these others, it's like, did one of them get,
And that's what did it for you?
were they the backstop of a Vince McMahon, liquid lunch?
It's very possible.
And it's just thinking that, like, okay, some of these people might have been in a bad way with old Vince.
Oh yeah, listen, there's no doubt that Vince was a sick, twisted individual. There's no doubt. Now, the Vince that I saw in the 70s and maybe the early 80s wasn't the same Vince of the late 90s and early 2000s.
No, he was tainted by fucking steroids.
Yeah. He at that point, yeah, he was shooting steroids directly into his penis at that point.
He was doing something.
So there's no doubt in my mind. Vince was bagging about 6 at a time between matches. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, something was happening. He was definitely on a pump for that shit.
Yeah. So there was too much craziness going on. But yeah, listen, I watch a lot of those. I send some to you. You send me some. I enjoy watching those shorts. And every once in a while, like you get I love the old interviews, much simpler time. I just always think back to the days where it was just simpler things. And I think today things get too confusing. There's too many things involved. Just keep it simple. My best all the time. Like, why do you watch?
How can they keep it simple? Years ago, back in the 70s, early 80s, when we used to watch wrestling at midnight, and then all of a sudden the announcement would come. Wednesday, March 15th, Madison Square Garden, Bob Backlund takes on the Iron Sheik in a Fijian cowbell match. And you may be like, well, what the fuck is that? Both men will be strapped together with a chain, 3 bells, and where did they, like, oh my God, I gotta watch, I gotta see this. But the only way you're gonna see this is if you go to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And your father ain't going out that time of night to go take you to Madison Square Garden.
Well, my dad took me to my first one. I saw Bob Backlund and Chief Peter Maivia in the steel cage match in '78. And then Paul Gill and I went to see Hulk Hogan at Madison Square Garden. I'm going to say this was '84. So he was already a champ. I don't even remember who we saw that night, but it was definitely Hogan was the big draw that night. So yeah, I must have went 3 or 4 times that way. We went to Wagner College together, so those were fun. And you're right, another one you didn't get to see everything. And by the way, the greatest match I ever saw was Piper and Snuka in the Fijian strap match. They were tied together with a leather strap, and all they did was whip each other. And by the way, Frank, if Vince McMahon banged the fabulous Moolah, he needed to have his penis cut off and fed to the sharks, because that is the most disgusting woman.
I think, and I may be wrong.
Go ahead.
But I'm thinking that Vince orally satisfied Moolah before he.
Oh my God, that's revolting. That's revolting. Hey, you sent me some stuff today. One was a picture of Dave Murray and James Hetfield.
All right. Somebody compared the two of them. This was on Facebook, and they were asking,
This is the picture I got today.
which one is better?
Oh, it's easy.
So I'm thinking to myself, well, is it, Tom?
Yeah.
Is it? And the reason I ask is because of this. All right.
Okay.
Twin guitar harmonies, I gotta go with Dave Murray.
Okay.
Okay. Overall rhythm guitar playing,
Okay.
not singing, not doing anything else, rhythm guitar playing, Hetfield by a country mile.
Wow.
Dave Murray's not even in the same zip code as a rhythm player.
Okay.
Lead player, I'm going Dave Murray over James Hetfield. James Hetfield doesn't play that many leads. He only plays a handful of leads here and there, if that. So I got to go with Dave Murray overall. James Hetfield sings and plays guitar. Some of those Metallica riffs are complicated. They're all down picking. He does his share of stuff. I think both are iconic players in their own right for their own reasons. But I mean, I got to say, like, overall, if I was going to pick a band and I was going to pick guitar players, I myself would go with James Hetfield.
See, now that's interesting to me because I think if I gave you a top 10, I think there's a better chance that Murray winds up in that list than Hetfield. I think Hetfield's a solid, and maybe above solid rhythm guitar player. I'm not even. But if you said to me, you're going to start a band tomorrow, not take out the singing part, take out the singer, and you were going to pick between two guitar players, there's no way you're taking Hetfield over Dave Murray. Now, if you put in the singing part, I got you.
But here's the thing. This is the change, okay? And I'm not just saying this. This is real.
Read Frankie's thing, please. Just read Frankie's thing.
I know, but this fucking guy, whatever. I would never classify Dave Murray.
He's about to collect Social Security next year, Frank.
I would never classify Dave Murray by himself. He's going to be in tandem with Adrian Smith. Whereas James Hetfield, I would go alone.
Yeah, but see, he's not even the best guitar player in his band.
Who?
James Hetfield. He's not even the best guitar player in his band. I'm not. Listen, I don't think you can go wrong with either guy. But
when you think, let me ask you a question. When you think of Dave Murray, what do you hear? Tell me the first thing that you hear.
The galloping. Always.
Okay, the galloping.
Right.
So, which reminds me of The Trooper a lot.
Absolutely. That's the first song that would come to my mind. Absolutely right.
The harmonies that he does with Adrian Smith, the way that they trade off leads in that song, they go back and forth. And a couple other songs were like that too.
Oh, sure.
These are two guys like a machine. They work like a machine.
I get it.
James Hetfield, he comes out, he gets in front of the microphone, he gets into position, he starts playing, he's down picking, he's chunk. He's doing what he's got to do. He's not really doing anything, no nonsense. He's just a player. He's a rhythm player. I have to give the nod over to him. I would never say that I would take him as a lead player, but I would take him as a rhythm player.
It's an interesting debate because I get your point. If you wanted a solid backup, solid rhythm guitar player, yes, you could add in the vocals too. But I never thought he was a great singer, but he fits the band in and he fits the style. I get it. But again, for me,
the style of music he played as a singer, the style of music he played, not metal style.
Yeah, style.
He can't hold up to Dickinson and Halford.
No. But for what they did, listen, there's no knocking him. There was never a time in Metallica, and I'm not the biggest Metallica fan, especially the last decade or two. But the early Metallica, you never went, "Oh, this is great music. I wish somebody else was singing it." Like you loved hearing his voice. It was rough and it was there, and he punched you in the face. So I think it fit perfectly to what they did and how they do it, or at least what they used to do. But again, as a guitar player, you can't go wrong. But I think Murray's very versatile and he's a much better lead guitar player. So if I was picking an overall guitar player to start a band, it would be Dave Murray. I get your point with Adrian Smith. They're a great tandem and one of the top 2 or 3 guitar tandems of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, if I had to pick tandems, I definitely got to go with Dave Murray, Adrian Smith, and Glenn Tipton and KK Downing.
Yeah, then you can argue it out from that point, yeah.
I don't know if there's a third to me.
Not that in metal, not anybody that I would consider iconic.
Not that stand out like they do.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of great bands. See, a lot of the bands that came after them were all a lot of one guitar player stuff. All those, the Rats of the world. Well, even Rat had two guitar players with DeMartini and Robin Crosby, but a lot of those bands had one guitar player. And again, if there were tandems, you would never think of those two guys as all-time greats. I would never put them in that mode. So I have to think about who would be the third best tandem. It's a good question.
I don't know because there was a drop off after Dave Murray and the Maiden guys and Priest guys because most of them were hair metal bands, and I don't think they can compare the talent of a hair metal band to some of these other metal bands like Maiden. Like it's unfair to compare.
No, I agree. I'm just saying is bands that have a lot of those bands there was a rhythm guitar. Like when you think of AC/DC, they were good tandem, but they didn't do a lot of harmony stuff. I don't know how many other bands maybe the Scorpion guys with Schenker and Matthias. They could go into that category. I never really thought of Rudy as a great guitar player. But I would have to think about who would be that next tandem. I'm not sure I have one.
I don't think so either. I got to agree with you on that. I think it's hard to, hard to think of who it's going to be.
Dan Spitz and Scott Ian. Okay,
Scott Ian is a good lead guitar player, but when they lost me when they made that stupid ass rap album.
I think there was a lot of people then, but yeah. I have to.
Anthrax album is basically untouchable to me.
Which one?
The first one, Fistful of Metal. That's a great album.
Yeah.
Second album, there's some moments. I don't know.
Yeah. Again, I'm not the biggest Anthrax fan, so I'd have to dig back into them a little bit. They were great on Married with Children. I thought they were funny. But as far as a guitar tandem that fits in that same mold, Scorpion guys, the Accept guys, I mean, they were all good. There was a lot of good players. I just don't know if you could, Maiden and Priest did a ton of harmony, and that's what made those guys great as a tandem. Would you agree?
Of course.
Yeah. The other bands,
think of some of the most iconic metal songs, Painkiller. Can you see anybody else but the guys in Priest writing it, perfecting it?
Yeah, no, it's just the other bands. There was Matthias Jazz was the lead guitar player. Not to say that Rudy didn't do his share of stuff, but in Maiden, there were very few bands that that I remember that one guitar player did a solo, then there was a break and the other guy did a solo. It was one guy or the other, or you get the occasional harmony. Maiden and Priest did a lot of weird stuff, especially Maiden. I mean, there was so many songs where there was two different styles of harmony. They were two good, guitar players, but they were different styles. If you listen to Maiden, I've been learning some Maiden stuff lately, and they're way different styles. Adrian Smith's more single notes and fluid. Dave's a lot of trills and tapping. It's a lot. They're a lot different, but they work together well. So. I'm going to think about that. I'll put a little note for next week. Try to come up with the next 2 or 3 guitar duos in metal. See if we can come up with a couple more that fit.
I got something else I want you to come.
Go ahead. You were talking about situations.
Yeah, I remember a couple weeks ago, I put you in a situation. I forgot exactly what it was. Sports situation.
Yep.
Where you had to choose what one would you rather be? What would you rather do? I think it was a baseball one, no?
I believe it was a baseball one. I'm trying to think what it was, but yes, it was definitely.
I think it was either being a relief pitcher or cracking a home run to win the game.
Yes. It was like shut the. Yes, go ahead. But so what's this?
Bring a few others up to you because they're things that we never talk about.
Go for it.
So let's say that it's the third period. You're in a hockey game. Right? Whether you're in the playoffs, you need this game to win. Whatever the case is, you're going to win the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself in this situation. But I'll give you the scenario, and then I'll ask you who you want to be. Okay? 2 scenarios. All of a sudden, there is a breakaway, and the guy, he comes in, he takes the shot, whether it's a slap shot, he dekes him, whatever it is, and he wins the game. Or the same scenario, the guy's coming down, tries to deke, and the goalie makes an incredible save, but here comes somebody, the other guy's teammate, and then they tee off, say 3 or 4 shots in the next 5 seconds, and you stop them all to win the game. What situation would you want to be in? Would you want to be the goalie and stop all of those shots, or would you want to be the winger or the center and go the length of the ice and end up putting it past the best goalie in the league?
That's a tough one, and I'll tell you why. I've always wanted to play goalie, but I never did it because I always, I was always afraid to get hit with the puck.
That you're like 150 miles an
hour.
Yeah,
I just never trusted myself in all the pads. I did it a couple times, roller hockey, this and that, yeah, and had it was okay, but I would tell you in that scenario, I'll tell you what, I want to be the goalie because I want to make that save where you kind of split the legs and the glove comes up and you snatch it and you just drop the puck and you walk away. That would be my thing.
That was like watching the Ranger game. What do you call it? Back when the Rangers were going after the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
it would be announced again. He shoots a save, and then there's the puck going on a save. Another save. And that's all you would hear the guy yell, like you just keep yelling save.
Yep.
Because they were just shooting and peppering this guy with the puck.
Absolutely.
And something would happen, they clear the puck or he'd fall on it finally. Just stuff, man.
Yeah. Joey, I disagree. If I think of 94, the first thing I think of, right, is Richter's save on what's his name? Fleury? Was it Fleury? On the penalty shot. And to me, that was the biggest moment in that series was him making that stop. He made like one on a penalty shot and I think one on a breakaway. And to me, Mike Richter was the hero of that playoff run and Stanley Cup run. So to me,
hard to disagree with that.
Huh?
Hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Mike Richter, they wouldn't have won.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, they won a lot of close games. And Mike Richter was a guy, but to me, there's nothing. I always wanted that one opportunity where you skate out and then you're backing up, and all of a sudden the guy takes a shot and you split the legs, and there's that classic move where they snatch the glove, and then the guy skates past you looking, and then you just drop the puck and you walk. That's it. It was Pavel Bury. That's it. It was Bury. That's who it was.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's something about scraping your nuts on the ice as you're butterflied out, and these guys just firing shot after shot. You can't yell timeout and get a chance to stand up, man. You got to do everything in one shot.
I would tell you, if I had the opportunity to make the big save in a Stanley Cup game, that would be incredible. There's nothing wrong with scoring the goal. Don't get me wrong, but when that guy skates past and he's looking back to see if the puck went in the net, and you just go and you drop the puck. Bam, jam. That would be I'm taking the goalie, Jeff.
I hear you, man. It is. Listen, it's definitely a winning proposition either way. Except nobody gives a fuck about hockey, and that's the sad part of it.
It is sad.
A lot of people miss, but so there's a game that people don't care about, and that's the NFL, not the NHL.
All right, go ahead.
So now there's 8 seconds left in the game. Okay, and you just got traded.
Okay.
You got traded to Frankie Catalano's beloved Broncos.
Oh.
Yeah. But we don't know where you are. We don't know if you're the running back, the receiver, the quarterback, whatever, or maybe even a defensive end, a linebacker. And you notice scenarios that are going to happen. 3 seconds left in the game, you fire a 90-something yard fucking touchdown pass and win, or maybe you're deep in your own end and you just run the ball, or there was a fumble, you're the running back, pick it up and go all the way. Maybe you're the wide receiver and you make a fantastic one-handed catch. And as you come down, the football barely breaks the plane, but it's just enough to win the game. Or maybe you're the hero, the defensive-minded linebacker there, and you just destroy the quarterback. His grandchildren will pee blood. You hit him so hard. So where you want to be in that situation, man?
That's a tough one. I would say if I had my pick to make one play in a football in an NFL football game, one play, that's a tough one. I'm going to say.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to sweeten the pot just a little bit.
Oh boy,
Right, like this. I said,
go ahead.
If you're the running back,
Yeah,
and you're running down the sideline with the guy like right behind you, he just get if his fingernails were a little bit longer, you start fucking high stepping from like the 20-yard line on, man.
Yeah, I would tell you if I had my druthers, I would like to be the running back, I formation, and score on a 90+ yard touchdown run to win a game. Like, to me, that's always been my dream. Like, you're out there running, you're looking up at the scoreboard to see who's behind you. You're looking up to see who's behind you. Yeah, I there's a lot of scenarios. Pick six down the sideline, but to me, lining up in the backfield, taking a handoff and breaking through the line, and I always think of the Tony Dorsett 99-yard run. Have you ever seen that one against the Vikings?
I might have.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
Monday Night Football. Tony Dorsett, 99.5 yards, and he goes through, breaks it to the outside, and he's gone. And I always said, if I had one chance to do one thing, that's always, I want to be that cool to make that play. So I don't know about high stepping. That I'm not sure.
No, you got it. Just
yeah,
territory, man.
Yeah, throwing the football one, that's not bad. The pick six, the sack, any of those are pretty cool. But for me personally, I always wanted to be the guy just running down the sideline, ball in his hand, looking back to see who can't catch me. I'll throw the last 15, 20 yards. I'll throw a couple of high steps in there. But then that's a pretty cool one. That's a tough one because there's so many different scenarios in that one. Like I said, the sack is always a great one too. But nothing like taking a handoff and going 90. Nothing like it.
Yeah, there's something like, listen, a lot of these sacks that you see today in football, I'm not going to say they're pussy sacks because I wouldn't want it to happen to me.
No, definitely not.
I remember watching the Jets in the sack exchange, and some of them were bone-crushing hits. A guy not even paying attention, and he just got hit full force in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back in the fucking 70s and early 80s, when these guys got hit, not like now, like, oh no, that's a sack. It's an in the grass rule. It's a sack. You were 25 yards away from him when he went to go throw the ball. That counts as a sack. And you didn't even touch the guy.
Yeah, let me tell you something. There's nothing better. And again, I played sports at a much low level, so I'm never going to ever compare it to what they do in the pros and the colleges and even some of the bigger high schools. But there was no better feeling than hitting somebody the right way, and you would hit them so hard, but you hit them. It was a perfect hit. You wouldn't even feel like you hit them. Like, it was magic, and it was nothing better. And that's how I knew I didn't want to play anymore. Tackle was when I didn't want to put my head in there and start hitting people. Then I was like, this is over. And that was, pretty good sign. But there was nothing better than that. I can't imagine some of these monsters at 6'6" and 6'7" running start. These guys run 4.4 40s and 4.5 40s and hitting you. I can't even imagine the force and the pain that's got to cause.
There's a guy that I work with. He's still there. He comes on as a lifeguard in the summer, and he's been doing it for years. And the first time that I ever seen him, his name is Clarence. I forget what his last name is. He had a tryout with the Detroit Lions, I was told.
Tall black guy?
Yes.
Clarence McNatt.
Yes.
Clarence McNatt. I played in high school. I played touch tackle against Clarence McNatt. Very good ball player. And yes, he had a tryout with the Lions.
The first time that I seen him, he was in a car, and he got out of the car, and he just kept coming out. And I remember being with somebody else, and I was like, holy shit, who the fuck is that? I'm like, that guy's fucking huge.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh yeah, that guy's name is Clarence. He said he had a tryout with the Detroit Lions years ago. And I was like, did he fucking make it? And they were like, no, he had a knee injury or something, and he didn't make it.
Yeah.
And he's like 6'4", 6'5", and my God.
Yeah. No, Clarence McNatt was a hell of a player. I played a little touch tackle against him. I watched him play. Very nice guy. Super nice guy. I'm trying to remember where he went to high school. I was looking it up right now, but yeah, I didn't know he's got to be our age or a little older, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he's definitely around our age.
Yeah,
he's definitely around our age. I don't know how old he is. I never really spoke to him.
Yeah.
Maybe like, hey, how you doing? That's about it. But I mean, you look at him, I definitely wouldn't want to say like, start fucking with like, yo, you missed that tackle there, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Fucking,
yeah. Nice guy. At least he was then. I don't know if he is now. He was a very nice guy.
He had skinny lower legs, from what I remember. He didn't have. I mean, he's muscular. Don't get me wrong. But like you would imagine for somebody his size that he'd have like big, bulky fucking legs.
Yeah, here's a football post. Former Detroit Lions defensive end Clarence Schmidt will be at our free screening tomorrow at Greenbelt Recreation Center, Staten Island, New York.
Oh, really? Wow.
Well, it's just but yeah, Clarence Schmidt now. Nice guy, hell of a player. But I didn't realize he was a part-time lifeguard in Staten Island. That's funny.
Supposedly he's a teacher.
Okay.
And then a lot of teachers become lifeguards in the summer, and they've been doing it for fucking 100 years, man.
Really?
Yeah, they must make some money, these fucking guys, because I couldn't see going year after year after year after year after year to become a lifeguard.
Yeah.
And they do.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, there was one guy, he used to come, he had 2 or 3 dogs that he brought to work with him. He used to make put his stereo outside. He was in charge of the lifeguards. He put his lounge chair outside. That they would meet. They would decide what they're going to cook. And they'd start they'd go to the store. They'd send somebody out for meat. They'd be barbecuing all day. I don't want to say they were drinking because I don't know if they were or not. But I'm just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. These are lifeguards. And
Joe, you're right. Joe, I think he played with like Wade Kress and those guys. I want to say I played my high school, my senior year. We had students against the teachers, 3 games: softball, football, and basketball. I played in all 3. I starred in the baseball game. We beat the teachers in baseball, and I had a great game. I went like 4 for 5. Tremendous game. Tremendous beat them. Almost hit one out at Walker Park. The basketball game, there was only 5 of us. We beat the teachers somehow. I think Eric Byers had a great game. And then the football game, we lost to the teachers. I think 7-0. I played quarterback in that game, and we did shit. But yeah, I think part of that. Oh, he played with Kenny Page. Okay, all right. So he was. So yeah, with Wade Kress, that was that era. They were a little older than us then. Okay. Anyway, as I digress.
That means about this, I got to be 60, 61.
I would say he's probably closer to 63, 64.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Think about it. He's got to be at least 4 years older than us. And those guys were out before that. Kenny Page was like 79 when he went to ASU. So I want to say those guys are 60, 63, 64. I would say in that range. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, Clarence was that nice guy, but wow. But I used to watch him and Mickey Watson. They were on the same day. They played for Berlin Wrecking in Staten Island touch tackle. And I would go watch because my friends played for Berlin. And you'd go there and you'd go, these guys are monsters, and they couldn't make it in the pros or even in high-level college. And I'm looking at these guys running around. I'm going, these guys would kill me if I went out there and played against these guys. And I said, imagine the pros who actually were better than these guys, how good they were. It was scary. It was freaky.
That's why before on this show, I've said it and we've talked about it. When we talk about a quarterback in the NFL, no matter who it is that we pick, and we say that guy sucks, he is still one of the best 100 quarterbacks in the world.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, the worst quarterback in the NFL is still within the top 100 of best quarterbacks in the world right now at this moment.
100%. That's a great way to look at it. Yes.
And even though he's not near the top in his position, think of the damage that he could fucking do. An average guy, a quarterback.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito probably put you through the wall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, listen, no. I love that. Crazy.
You know what? I got to be honest. I must have to get my glasses done because I thought that was Joe Cloak and he was saying Bo Jackson. And then I see you laugh, and I look again. I'm like, there he is. He was quiet for a while. He didn't say nothing. He had nothing to say.
Yeah, I thought maybe he dropped off and we lost.
Nah,
his
he lurks. He waits his turn.
He does lurk. He does. He's a lurker. I gotta tell you, he's definitely a lurker. Well, so I gotta ask you. So before we end the show, I do have to bring this up because I know we skip at football, but if you were the Jets, would you play Aaron Rodgers the rest of the year?
Hell yeah.
Just
Hell
throwing him
yeah.
out to the lines. What are you hoping he breaks a leg or something?
No. First of all, who else on the Jets roster is capable? First of all, Aaron Rodgers isn't winning a game right now at this point in time. You're going to hand the ball over to Tyrod Taylor?
No, I'm just saying. Do you want to worry about getting hurt? Do you want to?
No, for what? Next year?
Listen, at this point, you're probably hoping he gets hurt and can't have a play again, so he goes away.
Listen, if I'm Jeff Ulrich's career is over.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he will never coach in anything else. Maybe he'll coach a Madden game if he plays his son. Okay, maybe. If I was him, I'd pull the left tackle off to the side, and I'd be like, "See this guy? Fucking slip. The next is a pass. I want you to slip, okay, and just fucking let it happen, and just let him get fucking crushed in half." The guy is arrogant. He's a jerk off. I'm shocked. If he acted like this in Green Bay, I'm shocked they didn't run him out of town way sooner than that. Okay, this has nothing at all to do with his age. Nothing to do with his age. No. He still is having a statistically better career than most Jet quarterbacks, and could be the top Jet quarterback seasonally by the time that the season is over. The guy's just an asshole.
Yes.
Just an asshole.
Yeah. No, listen, I agree, and I think that
Joe, I would hire you as the left tackle if I thought you get the job done. Just fall. That's all you got to do all game long. Fall. Wear bigger cleats than you need. You're size 10, wear size 14. Just keep falling. Let him get hit. That's what I would do.
Yeah, no, listen, he's what you realize is why they want to rush him out of Green Bay so fast. Like, he's just a complete ass. Listen, he's not playing terrible. He's just not making big plays. He's not making the plays he wants, and I just don't think he's endeared himself to his teammates. And I don't think they'd run through a wall for him. And what happens next year, we'll find out. Do you think he wants to come back with an entire rebuild, new coaching staff, a lot of new players? You think he wants to come back?
I would hope not. No, I would hope not. But you know what? He's definitely proven that he's a different kind of player. He is definitely a different kind of player. I'm not going to say he's a money player. I'm not going to say that.
No.
He's a different kind of player. And I honestly and truly think he wants to play. But he doesn't want to play for the Jets, but he realizes that this is his last chance. Once this contract expires, where's he going? Who's going to sign him?
Yeah.
You're proving yourself what a problem you are.
Don't worry about with my man, the Dime Guy. Dime Guy's in Minnesota, and he's going to be coming back bigger and better. Watch. When Danny Dimes winds up next year, I will be a fan, and I will have a jersey, and I will root for Danny Dimes. Don't you worry about my man, Danny Dimes. You worry about your boy, Bo Nix. He's going to be collecting Social Security soon.
How could you say that? Danny Dimes, you're really going to fucking throw all your eggs in this basket?
I'm throwing my eggs right back in the basket.
The basket has a missing handle. It has
I don't care if there's a hole in the basket. I don't care if there's no room in the basket. I will back Danny Dimes. The guy got some ability. He's going to wind up in the right situation now with better players and a better outlook, and he won't be looking over his shoulder because he's getting cracked every week. I'm all over it, my man.
So what is it that has to happen with Danny Dimes for you to turn around and say, you guys were right, he sucks?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. If he goes to another team, if he went to like, let's say he was backing up Jared Goff, right? We know the Lions are a good team, right? There's no doubt about it. That may be the best team in the league right now. If he went there and he failed, then I'd have to go, all right, he sucks.
Dude, if he went to Detroit,
yep,
they automatically become the 34th best team in the NFL.
Oh my God! See, that's why we can't have a conversation. We can't have a legitimate conversation.
I told Frank, I'm telling you, I'm fucking telling you, I'm worried about the guy. He drives all the way into New York from his house in Jersey.
Right.
This isn't right to people on the road. He's going to get lost one day.
I'm sorry, you guys are
Tom,
wrong.
where are you? I don't know.
That actually happened once. I had a guy. I had a guy do that to me once. One of my drivers back in the day. We said we used to call him Mikey Dim because he just was the brightest guy in the world. So he's out there rolling on. These are the days in the days of beepers. So we're beeping him, and he calls me like hours later. I said, Mikey, where you been? You got to get that material to the job. And he goes, I'm lost. I said, well, Mikey, where are you? He goes, I don't know where I am. I don't even know where I am right now. I said, Mikey, all you got to do is look at the street signs. Where are you? I don't know. Where's the street signs? He was completely lost, and hence the nickname Mikey Dim. And he was within sight of Yankee Stadium. All he had to do was look over his shoulder, and he saw Yankee Stadium was right behind him. Couldn't even tell me where he was. But Yankee Stadium was back up.
There was a guy at my job that came from upstate or something. He was on the West Shore Expressway, and he got lost.
Uh-huh.
The West Shore Expressway turns into the fucking Staten Island Expressway.
Yeah.
Are you going east? It's impossible to get lost. Just stay to the right. That's all you got to do is stay to the right. And he got lost.
Wow, what did he go left and back into Jersey?
I don't know what the fuck he did, but I know it's just that they called him up and he was like, I'm lost, man. And they're like, well, where are you? He goes, I don't know. I'm on a highway. But what highway are you on? I don't know. What was the last exit you passed? I don't know. One way you get off. It's like stupid answers like that. He was a fucking matter of fact, the same guy one day he comes up to me and he goes like, hey, I hear that you're mad at me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, somebody told me that you were mad at me because I was standing around. We were doing a cleanup in an area and he worked for forestry. So I was like, first of all, I says, I didn't say anything. Second of all, you're not mine. I couldn't give a flying fuck what you do and where you're doing it. You're not my responsibility. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Get the fuck away from me. That's all I need you to do is just get away from me. And I walked away from him and then oh, sorry. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you're sorry. What the fuck? What am I going to say to you? I don't give a fuck about you. You're not mine. Get away from me. Our guy ended up getting fired for other reasons, but
being stupid. But that's a whole different context.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, it's 9:05, guys. We're going to wrap this up. We've got plenty in. Unfortunately, Jeff missed the first few minutes, so hopefully next week maybe crank the computer up a little early so we get the bugs out of the way. I don't know why. Well, you've been perfect for the last hour. No issues.
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly what's going on with the computer other than that I'm not using it as much as I once did.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck the problem is. I mean, it's not like I'm using it and doing things with the computer like I shouldn't have gone on Pornhub for 5 hours or something. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. And I go on YouTube and I come on the show. I don't even look at emails on this thing.
Really?
I don't download anything. So I don't know. This all started when one day I was watching YouTube. I just shut the computer over and let it sit there. A couple hours later, I tried to get on in the show, and the thing is like, "Come here, little rabbit," you know. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" So
let's hope next week you don't have the same problem. But either way, we'll be back here next Thursday night and do this all over again. Actually, my Christmas party's next week. We're going to do the show, but I'm going to be a little late getting on. I got my 4:00 Christmas party for my company.
Where is your Christmas party?
In Manhattan.
Okay.
So I go for about an hour and a half.
Pornhub, you never heard of that site before, huh, Joe?
Joe's got a direct line. You got to be careful.
Yeah, he got his own channel.
Yeah, Joe's got his own viewing hours.
He's not a performer. He just has his own channel.
Exactly right. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, guys, listen, there's a lot. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8:00, Channel 4. If you're in the New York area, New Jersey area, Channel 4 on NBC is the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's 75 minutes long. It's a little longer than normal. I don't know what scenes are in there. I don't know if they're doing commentary, but
I vaguely remember some scenes that were not in there no more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was some performances by the elves that were not in. You'll see. There's some different stuff, man. There's some different stuff.
I'm going to be out tomorrow night celebrating something, so I won't be around to see it. But I have already DVR'd it, so I will definitely be watching it Saturday morning, and we will discuss it here next week on the show. So I look forward to getting back here next Thursday night and doing this all over again. In the meantime, listen, get out there and enjoy. It's going to be a very cold weekend. Next week's going to be much warmer, so please be bundled up if you're going out. But get out to the malls. Go do Christmassy stuff. Put your trees up. Turn your lights on and enjoy it. We only get so many times to do this, and please, enjoy it while you can with all the people you can. Please make sure you do it.
We have to go out tomorrow night also, but unfortunately, I have to work during the day also. So my plan right now, and I don't think my wife realizes it, is we're going to go out, do what we got to do tomorrow. We'll have fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
And then Saturday, I'm going to tell her we have to finish everything. We got to decorate. And I'm hoping that by Sunday night, the second tree is up and lit, decorated, and off we go, man.
By the way, my friend Rob from work, he actually said, I didn't see Jeff. Does he have the second tree up this year? I said, I don't know. I saw one tree so far. I said, I don't know. Good night, Frankie. Good night, Joey. So people are asking about the Jeff trees. I would say I guess you guys are friends on Facebook.
I don't know. Rob who?
Robert Finelli.
If we are, I don't remember. He was.
I don't know. Maybe you showed it on the show or something. I don't know. But he knows you got usually have two trees, and he asked me, "Did Jeff put the second tree up?" And I said, "I don't know. I only saw pictures of one tree so far." So
yeah, unfortunately we only got the one up so far. It's going to happen.
Hi,
this weekend is a big thing. Hi, Allison. What's up, Allison? In a moment while Allison is here with us, we had a cousin that passed away. I would have asked to dedicate the show to him earlier, but I was late coming on because of problems with the computer.
Mm-hmm.
He had an accident in Pennsylvania. My cousin Michael Farola, cousin of Allison's, also.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know all of the details, and nice guy. I haven't seen him since before the pandemic, but just want to give a shout out to him and his family. That it sucks at this time of year you have to go through that, and he was man, a good guy.
We're sorry to hear that, and we'll mention his name again next week. And my condolences to you and Allison and the entire family. So we're sorry to hear that. It's tough to lose anybody at any time, but especially at this time of the year, it really rings the bell. To please get out there, go see your family, enjoy them while you can. One of these days, you won't be making that trek, you won't be making that phone call. So make sure you do the best you can. In the meantime, we appreciate you guys stopping by tonight, spending a couple hours with Jeff and myself. Thanks to Joe Cloak and Frankie for playing along like they do almost every week. Thanks to my dad for popping on. Thanks to my man Jeff and Allison now and everybody else who tuned in and paid attention to us for a couple hours. We really do appreciate it when people do. It's much more fun when we know people are actually paying attention to us. And hopefully you guys will be around for the Christmas show. And then, of course, the year-end show, if we decide to do that on the 26th or the 2nd. And, of course, Jeff will read his famous celebrity dead list.
Do you look forward to that every year?
I do. I do look forward to it because watching you, when I was a kid, there was – I can't think of the show. I'm trying to think of it, but there was a guy who would always come on and he would, read off, the big events of the year at the end of the thing. And I watch you go through this, and it's not that it's fun to hear that these people passed away, but just watching you kind of go through the list, and sometimes you'll make little comments. I do look forward to you doing this.
Oh, Frankie Catalano, this week I'm kicking your fucking ass, bro. You better roll over and die so that I get the playoffs.
Frankie, you got to win this week. Oh my God, the ship is sinking. If he loses this week and I win, it comes down to next week. And I pray to God, I am on such a roll. I got to win this week, and I'm slated to win this week. I need Frankie Catalano to put another dent in the boat, just so I have the opportunity to knock him out of the playoffs. It would, if you don't know, the half of the comments and stuff I get about he's steamrolling, he's trained, he's taking over the league in first year. He's offering me assistant coaching positions. And please, guys, Frank,
listen, watch this.
Just beat him, Frank. Please,
Frankie,
just beat him this week.
It's for you, baby. Thank you.
Frankie, You gotta beat him. If you do nothing else for me ever, you beat him this week and give me the opportunity
I can
to
already
play
tell
him for a shot. If we get to play each other with the playoffs on the line, would be the greatest day of my life. Oh my God!
I can
It's
tell you
really safe.
now.
It's really
I can
safe.
tell you right now.
Go ahead.
No offense to him. What is his team? 2-10,
2-10, I believe.
3 and whatever the fuck it is. He is going to go past me like a bolt of fucking lightning. I predict Frank Catalano to win by 45 points at least. And I was looking earlier, right? Because you know tonight the Lions are playing tonight, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, Frankie. That's one of the reasons why I said make sure you
I definitely didn't say that.
I did. No, actually, my stepdaughter's got. I guess she has a stake in that game because she's in second place, so she wants to see Jeff lose. So,
Well, let me tell you something. I'm looking at his team. The whole team is off.
oh, his whole team is off.
My team is off, and I'm like, there's no way that he's going to win. And then the more I look at it, I'm like, this motherfucker is going to destroy me. He has like 3 people playing, it seems. Everybody's bye week. And I'm like, he's going to win. He's going to fucking win. I just know it.
I either need you to lose or I need Passamonte to keep losing. I beat the crap out of Passamonte last week.
Oh,
So,
please.
so now I need him to continue to lose, and I need to win my last 2 games, and I need one of you 2 guys to lose both of your last games.
If I win, right? If I win this week,
Yep.
and I go into the playoffs,
Yep.
I would end up playing whoever is the first place right now.
Yes.
Okay, that's who I would play because I would be
Yanks.
the 4th place team.
Yep.
I am telling you, he is not beating me a second time. I will not let it happen.
I am the one blemish on his record. I am the
will
one
find
blemish.
who is he?
That's Dominic, a friend of Frankie's. That's
I will
Dominic.
find him. I don't know what I'll do to him, but I'll break his computer, fuck up his team, whatever it is I got to do. He will not beat me a second time. I vow it.
Well, let's see if you get the chance. But Frankie, if you have any decency in you, you will kick the crap out of Jeff this week. So that makes the last game of the season me and Jeff for all the marbles. Please. Now I got to win this week. Otherwise, it don't matter.
Frank, look, I'm looking at you, Frank. I'm looking straight at you right now. Okay. We've had our differences in the past.
Oh, start a GoFundMe page for Frankie. Sounds like a guy.
Stop it now. We've had our differences in the past, but we are like this now. Okay. You want to take this scourge out? Lay down on Sunday. Let me win. Let me win.
There are good quarterbacks to draft right now. Go draft a quarterback if you need to, but you gotta win this week, Frank. I need you to win.
I will even trade you.
No trades.
Not this Sunday. Next Sunday, your choice of Tua or Geno Smith.
Frankie, do me a favor. Just think about the show next week. Jeff coming off a loss, me coming off another W. All the marbles coming on Sunday. It'll be 2 hours of just complete trash talk next Thursday night.
I'll just go meet you in a parking lot someplace.
Oh, just be 2 hours of just trash talk.
Yeah.
I just need him to lose, or I need Passamonte to keep losing, and I got to win 2 games. I'm on a roll. Let's see if I can continue.
There's a week when we play one another again. You know,
the last week of the season.
It's coming up.
Yeah, so if you lose this week and I win, that game, me and you, is for the playoffs.
Well, is it for the playoffs or is it going to be our Snoopy Bowl? I mean, I don't want to.
No. If you lose and I win if you lose and I win this week, right now that would be for the 4th place slot.
Oh, I don't think you're going to get it, man.
Well, I'm saying. I'm coming hard this week. So if I win this week,
why do you want the Jets to win? Or what are they? Dolphins are tied with the Broncos or something?
It must be something to that effect.
I don't even give a fuck if the Jets win another game, period. I'm done with them. They're done. I'm done.
Frankie, have some honor, Frank. Have a little honor in your life. You got to go out and win this one. Think about how much fun you'd have next week on the show, knowing that you put Jeff on the brink of playoff disaster. Frankie, you understand? I'm getting all these messages he's offering me. I'm making my assistant coach next year. I'm winning this thing in my first year. I'm all sorts of trash talk, Frank.
Listen, this is all true. I am saying all of that. I have said all of that.
Frank, please.
I do not forget where I come from. Tom, I have a place for you.
Frankie,
my right hand, right here.
Frankie, hear this, Frank?
Right
please,
here.
Frankie, do everything you got whatever you need to do, you have to win this game. If you don't win another game the next 10 years in this league, this is a game you got to win. You win this, and I beat Marhefka, it's for all the marbles next week. And what a Thursday show we'll have. What a Thursday show we'll have. Actually, Frankie, to be honest with you, I didn't know you were playing, Jeff. My stepdaughter and her husband, who runs the Bees Knees team, she texted me and said, "Tell Frankie he's gotta fix his team." I said, "All right, what's wrong with his team? Just tell him he's got to fix the lineup." I said, "All right, I'll text him and let him know." Right, so Frankie had nothing to do with me, actually. So I
haven't seen your stepdaughter in years, but I'm going to give you one word to say to her. Get off the show. Call her now. Tampering. She's tampering. She's tampering. She should be fucking punished and take 2 wins off her fucking record. Tampering.
She's in second place right now in this league, so good for her. And we'll see what happens. But Frankie, for the old neighborhood, Frankie, please give me a W this week. Nothing will make me happy next Thursday night. And to come on this air, couple of drinks in, and know that I have the opportunity next Sunday to derail Jeff and knock him out of the playoffs. Nothing would make me happier right now.
It's not going to happen.
All right, we'll see. We'll see after Sunday. All I'm telling you is don't lose to Frankie this week. If you lose to Frankie this week and I find a way to beat Marhefka, and I'm slated to win by 20-something points over Marhefka right now.
Listen, if you think that you're going to beat him that fucking easy, my friend, you are wrong. Wrong. You remember what he did last year. He's going to pick up some guy that kicking field goals.
Who knows? He may be throwing it for all I know. I haven't talked to him. All I know is if I can find a way to beat John and you lose to Frankie's pitiful team.
It looks like I'm going to have to start sending some messages myself.
You might have to do whatever you need to do.
That's all.
Start doing whatever you need to do. But for now, we need to close the show up, and I got to go. So I'm going to go watch a little football before I go to bed. So listen, to everybody out there, thank you. Please enjoy your holiday coming up, and we'll see you next Thursday night. But for now, please enjoy the rest of your night, the rest of your weekend, the rest of your weekend, and all of next week. And come on back when Jeff and I get together and do this all over again next Thursday night. So for Jeff Towinski, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rockin' Sports, thanks for tuning in. Be safe. Have a great, great week, and we'll see you next Thursday night. Happy I'll talk to you off the air.
You got it, man. Be good, bro.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Later.